Convention Center in downtown Oklahoma City for an arena football matchup between the Grand Rapids Rampage and the Oklahoma Wranglers. This matchup pits two teams who've overcome devastating injuries to qualify for postseason play. We'll preview tonight's game. Plus, have you ever wondered what it would be like to compete out on the field with AFL players? Author Jeff Foley knows, and he'll tell us.
You go out and you push yourself every day, and it's a great thing to do that with everybody shooting toward the same goal.
It's the final week of the regular season. We'll look back on some of the record-breaking performances we've seen this year. All of that and more as we get you ready for Grand Rapids versus Oklahoma on the Arena Football 30-minute drill. We're live in the Myriad Convention Center here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, for the regular season finale for both of these teams. Grand Rapids comes into tonight's game on an upswing after scoring a season-high 62 points last week to break a four-game losing streak and clinch a playoff berth. Meanwhile, the hometown Wranglers try to regroup from a 10-point loss to Milwaukee. Hi, everybody. I'm Jill Arrington. Thanks for joining me for the Arena Football 30-minute drill. We have reached the final week of the regular season, and TNN's going to be bringing you two games this weekend. Tonight's game and then a Sunday game at 3 o'clock, Orlando and Albany. But first, let's take a look at tonight's game. It's the final week of the regular season, and you'd think the playoff picture would be complete, but think again. These are the 12 teams who will be in the playoffs this year. Grand Rapids, Milwaukee, and Buffalo qualified for the final 3 spots. While this is how the teams stack up now, the final seedings won't be decided until this weekend's action is complete. 3 division winners are already decided: Orlando, Iowa, and Albany. Now remember, the division winners get a first-round bye and host a second-round game. In the West, if San Jose beats Buffalo on Saturday, they'll be the Western Division champs and the #1 seed. If the SaberCats lose and Arizona wins, then the Rattlers get the division championship and the top seed, dropping San Jose to #5. The only other things we know for sure is that Nashville has the #6 seed locked up, and New England is the #7 seed. Both of those teams will host a first-round game next weekend. Here's the schedule of those first-round playoff games. Thursday and Friday's games will be on TNN at 8 and 9 p.m. respectively. Then on Saturday, there'll be a game at 4 p.m. on ESPN and another at 8 on ESPN2. But in order for all of those scenarios to be resolved, we've got to play out this weekend's action. And for now, let's look at tonight's game and go up to the booth to Eli Gold and Mark May.
All right, Jill, thank you very much. You know, you talk about the playoff options, and it is not at all settled. Let's take a look, for instance, at Grand Rapids. They could finish anywhere from 9 through 12 in the seedings. They could play any one of 5 different teams in the opening round of the playoffs. Oklahoma, meanwhile, the home team tonight, they could have a home playoff game next week if they win tonight, if Milwaukee beats Houston, and should Carolina upset Tampa Bay. You get the idea. Lots still up in the air. Nobody wants to play Arizona or San Jose in the first round or the second round, that's for sure. But whatever happens tonight in this ball game, a lot of new names, so many injuries to talk about.
A lot of injuries, and this is the time of year where you want your top guns on the football field. During the season, towards the end, you got to have your starters out here. But it's a mash unit out there. Look at all the injuries sustained the last 2 weeks going into this game. But there's a silver cloud, there's a silver lining in the cloud for the Grand Rapids. They're going to have all of their players back except Les Barley. He's out because of injury, and Patrick Scott, he's out due to a suspension.
So everybody looking for the return of the healthy players come the postseason. Now, for Oklahoma tonight, I guess you've got to say Carlos Johnson is the difference in the ball game, assuming they can get him the football.
Well, here's the key with Carlos Johnson. Everyone knows when Oklahoma has to have a big play, they're going to Carlos Johnson, and they can't stop him. What I like most about Carlos Johnson, the way that he can break out of his route and then burst after he gets the ball. He makes something happen. He gets to the end zone, or he'll make a big play right at the end of the play and make a score and put points on the board for his football team.
Now, normally at this stage of the 30-minute drill, when we finish, we pitch it down to Jill with one of the star players. But there are so many injuries this week, we decided to let Jill spend some time with Coach Michael Trigg of Grand Rapids. A little variation on the norm, Jill.
Well, that's right. I'm here with the coach. He makes all the decisions anyway. Thanks for coming on the show. You guys do have a lot of injuries. You have so many players out. How hard has it been to adjust, and what have you done to adjust for so many missing starters?
I think a lot happens in the offseason with the depth that you're able to create on your team, because now these guys are out to step forward and fill in some pretty big shoes. But I don't feel like the Rampage is any different than most teams getting to this point in the season. It's long. You lose a lot of guys. The key is, how good of a job did you do last year for the guys that are going to step up and play tonight? But we're excited. Sometimes you just don't have opportunities to let these guys play. So now they have a chance to get in the spotlight, and to be able to get that experience in before the playoffs is really good.
Well, tonight we'll get another look at your new quarterback that you have in, Max Nocky. What do you think we're going to see from him tonight, and how has he played for you?
Well, Max has played well for us in spots. He didn't play real well as a starter in Iowa. That's a tough place to play, and I'm assuming Oklahoma's tough too. But Max is kind of arrogant and a cocky guy. He's got the mental things down. He just needs to get off to a good start, and I think good things will happen for him.
Well, you've already made it into the playoffs. The team you're playing's into the playoffs. Has it been hard to get your guys ready and up for a game like this, knowing you're already in the playoffs? What have you told them?
Well, we went on a slide there for about 7 weeks where we didn't play very good football, with the exception of last week and against Orlando. And we're still trying to get some consistency back and wait for some of our big warriors to come back and help us. But our guys have been loose this week, and maybe we have a little bit of edge knowing that, unfortunately, we don't have a home playoff game, but we still won't want to be seeded 12th, and that's a reality that you don't want to face a team that could have as many as 12 wins in Arizona and San Jose. So we're excited. We're going to play loose tonight, and I look forward to it. We'll have a faster lineup than we've had a receiver in a while.
All right, well, good luck tonight. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
When we come back to the Arena Football 30-minute drill, we'll check in on last week's action. New England rookie defensive specialist and kick returner Anthony Derricks made another assault on the AFL record books. But don't forget about tonight's matchup. Oklahoma quarterback Ron Lopez is intent on giving the hometown fans something to cheer about. Stay tuned.
Cabaret.
I'm Rosie.
I'm Lulu.
And I'm anyone you want me to be.
It's hot.
This show is
Cabaret
very sexy. Cabaret is a hot show.
Live theater. Anything can happen.
No predictability.
Well, they asked us to try this.
Degree invisible solid, body heat activated. Your body temperature goes up, it goes down, it goes up and down, and Degree stuck with me. I loved it.
No white marks, nothing. So they're looking at me and my flawless performance. We need this. Degree invisible solid. Slick und clean und clear.
Wendy's has a craving for a hot new sound. Enter Wendy's Search for Sizzling Sounds contest, brought to you by TNN and CMT. All you have to do is write an original song that captures your love for hamburgers, like the ones you get at Wendy's. That classic combo of hot and juicy beef with your choice of crisp toppings. Just rush to Wendy's for all the details, or enter online at sizzlinsounds.com. If you win, you could be flying to Nashville to have your song professionally produced.
Wendy's, search for sizzling sounds.
Sponsored by TNN and CMT.
There is a rhythm to life. We sleep at night and wake in the morning. It's this sleep cycle that helps keep us in a healthy balance. But for millions of Americans, sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. With Ambien, you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and generally wake without feeling groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. Patients who abuse prescription sleep aids may become dependent. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. Take Ambien only when you can devote a full night to sleep and wake up rested and ready to start your day. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. Ambien works like a dream.
Inside the Myriad Convention Center, fans are gearing up for tonight's showdown between the Wranglers and the Rampage. With their loss to the Carolina Cobras last week, the New Jersey Red Dogs were eliminated from playoff contention. But there's one Red Dog who's not quite finished playing football for the summer. That's rookie offensive specialist Michael Lewis. He just signed a contract with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he reported to training camp this week. For more news from around the Arena Football League, let's go to Eli Gold to take us inside Arena Football.
Last week on TNN, Hunky Cooper and the Arizona Rattlers paid a visit to Hartford, Connecticut to take on the New England Seawolves. Cooper did his share of damage, a 1-yard touchdown run, and he was on the receiving end of a 27-yard Cedric Bonner scoring strike. After that, it was the Rattler defense taking over as Arizona rolled 60-28. Bonner finishing 17 of 24, 146 yards, 5 touchdowns. The Rattlers improved to 11-2. The Iowa faithful were once again treated to the best game of the week as the Barnstormers played host to Albany. Iowa came out smoking both on the ground with Rodney Filer and through the air with Garcia to Horacek. 6 more points. But Albany refused to die. Mike Pulowski found Quincy Jackson, but then failed to convert the ensuing 2-point try. Iowa held on 77-76 in a thriller. The win marked the 7th win in 8 meetings for the Barnstormers against the Firebirds. Los Angeles looked to end their season on a high note Friday as they tried to play the role of spoiler for Buffalo's playoff hopes. The Destroyers, though, responded with flying colors, and by flying down the field as Browning-Nagel hooked up for 7 touchdowns on the day, 3 to speedster Terrell Shaw. Then it was time to dance in Buffalo as the Destroyers not only won the game 60-52, but more importantly, they're headed to the postseason, a remarkable turnaround after beginning the year 0-8. In Milwaukee, the Mustangs are looking to solidify their spot in the playoffs by hopefully running past the Wranglers. Oklahoma coach Bob Cortese wasn't too happy about his team's performance early. That was until Travis McDonald scored on a 2-yard plunge to keep the Wranglers close. But in the end, Sean Riley and the Mustangs ran away with the game to win 49-39. Riley finishing with 5 receptions, 120 yards, 3 scores on the day. Milwaukee is now 6-7. In other action last week, Carolina beat up on New Jersey, while Orlando bounced back from 2 straight losses. They beat Florida. Grand Rapids managed to pull out a victory over Houston by 6 despite a rash of injuries to key players, while Nashville lost a heartbreaker to Tampa Bay. So as we take a look at the current standings, heading into the final week of regular season play, the West still very much up for grabs, while red-hot Iowa has walked away in the Central. In the South, Orlando wins the division after Nashville fell to Tampa Bay. In the East, Albany is on top with a 9-4 record. For this week's Indoor Warriors, we find a few familiar names sharing the spotlight. Iowa's awesome pass-catch duo, Mike Horacek and Aaron Garcia, were co-AFL Players of the Week last week after Horacek recorded 285 receiving yards on Saturday, while Garcia upped his touchdown total to 86 for the year, both setting new AFL records. Orlando's Stevie Thomas was named Tinacton Ironman of the Week.
The Oklahoma Wranglers got off to a great start this season, winning their first 4 games. But then they began to look like the first-year team that they are. And just when they thought they were overcoming a losing streak, they lost their starting quarterback, Ron Lopez, to injury. But after 3 weeks, Lopez is back in the starting lineup, and Mark May caught up with Lopez a few moments ago.
Thanks, Joe. Ron, you've missed the last 2 games due to injury. What's your status for tonight?
I'm 100% for the night. You know, I got the start and feel real good. You know, just wish the rest of my team had a 2-week sabbatical like I did to heal up. But the rest of the league's banged up as we are, and we're going to go out there and do what we can do.
And what's your goal to come back into the last game of the season?
We definitely got to end the playoffs on a winning note. You know, it's always good to go into the playoffs on a winning note and have the momentum rolling our way.
How important is it for you and this team to win and have an opportunity to play your first playoff game at home?
Well, I tell you what, you know, we're going to worry about what we can control, and that's winning this game, and whatever happens after that, if it happens that we get a home playoff game, that'd be great.
Ron, congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Joe.
When the Arena Football 30-minute drill continues, we'll once again go inside Arena Football, but this time it's actually inside the huddle and on the field. Author Jeff Foley gives us every man's perspective on life in the AFL. Quarterback facing Lopez tonight is Matt Nocky. He'll be under center for the Rampage. Stay tuned.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast Tough Actin' Tinactin pump spray works.
Tinactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with Tough Actin' Tinactin.
Coming soon from 3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up's right there. Ready or not, here I come.
The most intense 4-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
There's a company that can approve you for a new Visa card right over the phone. Whether it's Visa Classic to help you build or rebuild your credit, the prestige of Visa Gold with an even higher credit line, or the purchasing power of Visa Platinum, the only card you'll ever need. The company is Providian, one of the top issuers of Visa cards in the world with over 12 million customers. Whether it's Classic, Gold, or Platinum, call now and get approved right over the phone. Providian will work hard to give you the card that's right for you. Visa from Providian. We approve.
Prilosec users, it's time for something special. Wherever the summer takes you. Now you can get a special free offer for Prilosec users. Get the latest updates on acid reflux and new healthy recipes, all in our exclusive free newsletter. Fill your Prilosec prescription and be eligible for $10 savings on non-prescription items at your pharmacy. Call 1-888-807-5345 right now. Prilosec is prescribed for the heartburn associated with acid reflux disease. If you have persistent heartburn that occurs 2 or more days a week despite treatment and changes in diet, ask your doctor. Many people get 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with just 1 daily dose of prescription Prilosec. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. So call now for your free newsletter and $10 savings. 1-888-807-5345. Get a great free offer and have a great summer.
Hey. What do you guys want to do?
Ask the guy with the big hand. He was right last time.
Try the double reverse option pass. You can't miss. All right, thanks. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I tell you, hey. Let's ask my wife. Hey, baby.
Didn't you guys make a good decision?
Hey, easy. My kid is right there.
Close, real close. Orlando and Albany, Sunday at 3 Eastern on TNN.
Just north of town, the National Cowboy Hall of Fame. Here in the Southwest, they have the real deal cowboys and lots of beautiful Western and Southwestern arts. Each year, sports fans sit in the stands and think, you know, I could be out there, I could catch that pass, I could make that tackle. And, you know, arena fans are no different. Many of them sit out there and think, well, you know, I could take that hit on the turf or into the wall. But there's one arena football fan who knows differently. While the majority of high school football players go through life wondering what it would be like to play at a higher level, Jeff Foley might wonder what it would have been like to be a high school player. But Foley can say he once played professional football. A freelance writer, Foley has walked down the same path paved by George Plimpton in the mid-'60s when he went through a Detroit Lions camp while writing Paper Lion.
For me, as a writer, I've always been someone who would do anything for a story. I've played professional baseball, striking out 3 times. I've run a triathlon and, you know, came in near to dead last, but I've always done these things to kind of let people know what it's like to go out there and throw yourself on the line.
Foley's been with the Albany Firebirds not once, but twice. This year, surviving the entire preseason camp while writing his book, War on the Floor. During camp, he asked for no favors and received none.
He's come out and gained their respect. You know, he's practiced hard and did the things he had to do. He spent training camp with us and didn't dodge anything.
A brave man, no doubt about it. You know, here was a guy who had never put on football equipment before, and I recall helping him in the locker room putting on football equipment for the first time. And I have a great amount of respect for the guy.
I played, I think, 1 Sandlot game when I was probably in 6th or 7th grade and ended up in the hospital for a week with torn ligaments in my leg. And that's the extent of it.
It's kind of like having a little brother out there on the field. You're sort of teaching a guy the game who has never really played the game for the first time. You encourage him to do well, and you see him doing well. You actually feel pretty good when he starts to get things down.
Foley says most fans would be taken back on how much faster and more physical the game is compared to when it's viewed on television or even from the stands. He said at times it was downright frightening, but his experience in camp was invaluable, not only through the eyes of a writer, but maybe more so for Jeff Foley, a.k.a. Joe Fan.
I've never had so many nicknames in my life as when I started doing this. I've gone from Achmel, I don't know how exactly I became Achmel Foley, but I did, to now, if you ask Kyle Moore Brown, it's Ich, or some type of like a cat puffing up a hairball sound.
It's one thing to go through camp. It's something else to say you actually played in a game. For Foley, he realized the full experience during a preseason game in Milwaukee. Actually catching a pass. But as you can see, what he did after the catch didn't exactly earn him extra playing time.
Kind of going around since then saying that I got walloped by a 300-pounder, but I saw the tape for the first time the other day, and there was nobody within 5 yards when I fell.
Going through 3 weeks of training camp, pushing yourself to the limit, getting bumped and bruised, it's something all football fans should experience. Memories that'll last Foley a lifetime, yet his war on the floor days are over. He enjoys referring to his days as a player in past tense.
Actually, it's one of my fears. When I came in last year and I went through a couple days, they went on to win the championship. And I kind of took credit for that, saying I got them started off on the right foot. And so I'm a little afraid that if they win again this year and I've been in camp again, that they might start to say, you know, hey, he's the missing ingredient. And I have to go to training camp every year, because I really would prefer not to.
War on the Floor is the first book published about the Arena Football League. It's being endorsed by the AFL and by the Albany Firebirds. It'll be available in the beginning of the 2001 year in all arenas and bookstores across the country. And stay tuned for more from the Arena Football 30-minute drill. When we come back, we'll shine our superstar spotlight on the flashy playmaker from Oklahoma. Carlos Johnson's given the Wrangler fans something to dance about this season. Maybe they'll be dancing some more tonight if the Wranglers can pull out a win over the Grand Rapids Rampage. Kickoff is 10 minutes away. In the middle of downtown Oklahoma City, you can find some beauty amid the urban metropolis in Oklahoma City's Botanical Gardens. That's nature at its best. As the 2000 regular season nears its end, it's easy to see that it's been a remarkable one. In addition to two great franchise teams that have had a lot of success, there's been great competition around the league all year, and a lot of records have been set on individual team and league level. So let's take a look at some of these record-setting performances. The very first game of the season, it was April 13th in Nashville when Mike Pulowski threw 10 touchdown passes against the Cats. That tied the AFL record for most touchdowns in a game. Todd Marinovich equaled the task on June 23rd at Houston. In other quarterback news, Iowa's Aaron Garcia has shattered the single-season touchdown record. So far, he's tossed 86 on the year with one game remaining. The old record was 84. Speaking of scoring touchdowns, the San Jose-New England matchup on June 9th ended with a combined score of 161 points. That's the most points ever scored in a single AFL contest. A couple of defensive milestones were also reached. Darrell Hammond has always done his part on offense, but this year he broke Durwood Rockmore's record of 503 career tackles. He heads into this week with 520. And Sam Hernandez brings 46.5 career sacks into Week 15, breaking Sylvester Bembury's previous record of 43. In one of the most impressive single-game performances this season, New England rookie Anthony Derricks made the league stand up and take notice on June 9th at San Jose. He had 336 kick return yards and 4 kick return touchdowns. Both are AFL single-game records, while Lamont Cooper of Milwaukee tied the season record with 7 kick return touchdowns on the year. Well, that leads us to this week's internet question. Billy from Baton Rouge asks, what do you think is the most impressive record-breaking performance of the season? Eli, what do you think?
Well, I'm actually kind of torn between two. You've got to think about that 85-76 game that New England played earlier this year with San Jose. I mean, anytime teams can combine for that many points and rewrite the record books, you've got to be impressed. But I'm going to go with Aaron Garcia, the quarterback of the Iowa Barnstormers. Think about what he has done. Mike Perez, back in 1996, threw 84 touchdown passes for the season. Aaron has 86 already and still has one game remaining in the regular season. So he's really rewritten the record books, Jill. So with due respect to everybody else, I'm going to go with Aaron Garcia's performance this year.
Well, thanks, Eli. And speaking of impressive performances, that's what the Superstar Spotlight is all about. Each week, we try to pick a player who's been a difference maker for his team all year, a go-to guy and a leader on the team. And tonight's Superstar Spotlight is Oklahoma's Carlos Johnson. Johnson is an offensive specialist in his second year in the AFL. Last year, he missed most of the season on injured reserve, but has made the most of his health this year. He leads the team in receptions, receiving yards, and scoring. He's second on his team in kick return yards, and he's returned a kick for a touchdown. But Johnson is perhaps best known for his unique and entertaining celebrations. Johnson is currently third in the league in receiving yards with 1,347 for an average of 103.6 receiving yards per game. He's also got 21 receiving touchdowns. On kick returns, he's got 179 yards and 1 touchdown. Join us this Sunday at 3 on TNN as we head to Albany for a rematch of last year's Arena Bowl. Orlando head coach Jay Gruden is trying to fine-tune his team as they try to make another successful playoff run. This week, the Predators head north to battle Mike Pulowski and the rest of the Eastern Division champion Albany Firebirds. That's Orlando at Albany in a special time slot, 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon here on TNN. To get more information on that game and on the rest of the Arena Football League, log on to AFLontNN.com. Remember, when you log on, you can email us questions about Arena Football, and each week we'll pick some of your questions to be answered during the show. That's AFLontNN.com. That brings this week's edition of the Arena Football Drill to a close. I'll be with you throughout the game from the sidelines, and be sure to join me for the Degree Halftime Report. I'll tell you about this weekend's action, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Grand Rapids kicker Brian Goins. For now, kick back, relax, and enjoy the game. The Rampage are on a roll, trying to fine-tune their game for the upcoming postseason. But the Wranglers want to finish off the season in winning form before this hometown crowd. Kickoff is coming up.
Hungry for seafood? When your hunger strikes, there's only one thing to do. Head to Red Lobster for lobster and shrimp. Sweet, succulent lobster together with mouth-watering shrimp. Just $12.99 right now at Red Lobster. So hurry in and get it before it's gone.
Two identical brushes, yet one works better. The secret behind this brush? Plaques. It pre-loosens plaque before you brush, so your brush can brush better. For cleaner teeth, fresher breath. Plaques. It's what's behind a better brush.
Coming soon from 3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up's Rodney. Ready or not, here I come.
The most intense 4-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
Pony, let the spinning wheel spin.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and America. Classic Rock, the hits, Tuesday at 10 Eastern and Pacific on TNN.
The path of spiritual enlightenment lies before you. Call me now for your free tarot reading. I see money coming into the house by the 10 of Pentacles. Everything's looking irie there. There is a child, isn't there?
Yeah.
I see, I must say, little boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the little boy. Little boy looks strong. I don't like how he makes his money. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. We're not going to put everything on Front Street. Who's the short man with no money in his pocket?
He's a young one.
And he's broke. What do you want him for? And he has a mustache, right?
Yeah.
And there's a birthmark somewhere on his face, correct? A mole or a scar or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the daddy.
Oh, yes.
That's
okay.
the daddy. Congratulations, Mommy. I'm glad I made you happy. Experience the power of a real tarot reading. There is no substitute. Call me for your free reading now. And let Miss Cleo help you answer your question.
1-800-994-4557.
In Oklahoma City, the battle for wins in the Arena Football League has turned into a war of attrition. While injuries have thinned the troops, the Oklahoma Wranglers have continued to fight and have earned a place in postseason play. Led by one of the league's top receivers, Carlos Johnson, Oklahoma has given its fans something to holler about. After a fast start, Grand Rapids hit the injury wall too. But the experience of head coach Michael Trigg has the gritty Rampage making all the right moves to make their second straight trip to the playoffs. Postseason seeds are on the line tonight as Grand Rapids visits Oklahoma on TNN Sports. it's a beautiful downtown area in Oklahoma City. The Myriad Arena sits right in the middle of downtown, and that's where TNN Sports has come for our first look this year at the homestanding Oklahoma Wranglers and the Grand Rapids Rampage. Both are in the playoffs, but exactly where they will be seated, well, maybe we'll know in about 3 hours' time. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Oklahoma City. Eli Gold along with Mark May. And trust me, this right here is the most important thing you can have in your hands in this building tonight. This is the souvenir program. And Mark, truly, tonight you can't tell the players without a scorecard, particularly at quarterback.
Well, the quarterback position, the last 2 weeks, quarterbacks have been injured, in particularly for Grand Rapids. Last week's starter, Jason Martin, left the game with a knee injury. He doesn't even suit up tonight. Max Nonke gets to start. But both of those quarterbacks are just keeping the seat warm for the incumbent starter, Steve Cusack. And for Oklahoma, their starter finally comes back. And Ron Lopez, he's their starting trigger man. He sat out the last 2 weeks due to numerous injuries.
Now, when you talk about the defensive side of the ball for the Oklahoma Wranglers, you're talking about a team that for the second week in a row is now the #1 defense in the Arena Football League. A lot of folks don't know that.
And if you talk to any coach in any football game, the first thing the head coach is going to say, defense leads us. This is the #1 defense in the league. And what's very impressive about them, look at that. First downs allowed, they're #1, which means they don't allow the opposition to get first downs. But here's another key stat that's not on our board. They are 4th, 19 sacks in getting after the quarterback. And at this time of year, stopping the run and getting after the quarterback is most important.
The head coaches, there is Michael Trigg. He is a former Arena Football League quarterback in his playing days. He was with the Detroit Drive during their back-to-back championship years. And he will be opposed across the field by that gentleman. That is Bob Cortez, who is in his first year as a professional head coach. He does, however, bring 30 years of coaching experience to the job, including the last couple as an assistant head coach with the Portland Forest Dragons. We are getting ready for kickoff. The fans are all set. Hot dogs at the ready. They've had their pregame laser show and the Mark May haircut.
I used to have hair just like that.
I knew you did. A lot of folks didn't know that either. Glad you're with us. Grand Rapids is in the white. Oklahoma is in the maroon and silver. The kickoff man is Darren Alcoin, number 86. And the deep men, headlined by Cleveland Pratt, among others. Darren Alcoin, what a strange story he is. He plays here in Oklahoma City. Where do you think he spends the majority of his week, though? How about Portland, Oregon? We'll talk about that as our evening continues. Glad you're with us. Here we go. Cleveland Pratt is 6 yards deep. Bounces off his own man, off Corey Mayfield, and Barry Dillard then puts him down for the homestanding Oklahoma Wranglers as Max Nonke, the quarterback from TCU, Texas Christian University, he comes in to lead the offense. He holds all of TCU's scoring, passing records. He was there, coached by Pat Sullivan at TCU, himself a Heisman Trophy winner.
And head coach Michael Trigg, when we talked to him this week, he said, the things I like about him is he's extremely smart and he knows the game very well. He's a very intelligent quarterback.
Pratt was in motion. Quick throw to Pratt across the middle, and he's out across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Now, the big story for Grand Rapids, the changes because of injuries. You've got two men, Demo Odoms and Keith Neal, combined for 54 receptions this year. They are replacing the injured Thomas Bailey and Michael Baker, who have 189 receptions between them. And Tony Bowick at center, he is in replacing the injured Joe Lewandowski.
And Eli, offensively, you would think that would hurt this team, but when we talk to head coach Michael Trigg, he says on the outside, we may have more speed than we've ever had. We're not going to lose quality with the players out there because we've got quickness to get down the field to play.
Play clock is at 3-2. They get it off in time, and it's too long on the lead for Demo Odoms, the offensive specialist out of Austin, Texas. As we check out the Oklahoma defense for you, Chuck Reed leads that unit. 5 tackles, has 6 sacks, as you see, tied for 5th best in the league. And the quarterback on defense is really Mark Ricks, the #1 tackler, 4 interceptions. He has broken up 18 passes already this season. There's a good look at Mr. Ricks out of Western Michigan. Looking at a 3rd down. They break the huddle with 3 on the play clock. 2-1. Again, they just get it off. Here's Pratt. He is not going to get there. He is stuffed by the on-rushing defense, Ron Perry and Mark Ricks, all combining inside to stack up. There's big Ron Perry, #5, out of Grambling.
And the speed of the Oklahoma defense. That's why this defense is the best in the league. They can converge on the ball. Look at all those jerseys getting to the football and making the tackle. Smart, aggressive football. That's why they're #1 in the AFL.
Now in 4th down conversions, that team is 50% on the year. They are 7 of 14. Surprised maybe to go this deep in your own territory this early in the ball game on 4th down.
Particularly against the best defense in the league.
Chris Ryan is the fullback. Nocky keeps it. He's not going to get there. He is not going to get there. It was Chuck Reed, #10. Not a name, or excuse me, not a number you'd ordinarily associate with an offensive or defensive lineman. But #10, Chuck Reed, was not faked out of Nocky. Look for #10.
And it's all at the point of attack. There's no push by the offensive side of the ball with Grand Rapids. And Oklahoma does not let them get the 1st down because they just muscle them at the point of attack, and they don't let quarterback Max Nocky go anywhere with the football.
So now Oklahoma with a spectacular opportunity to make some noise early. Ron Lopez. He was the backup at Iowa, backing up some guy named Warner. Kurt Warner. Hard strike. Incomplete. Carlos Johnson couldn't hang on. Hassan Shamsuddin was the cover man. Lopez has an arm.
He definitely does. What I like about this is first pass back after sitting out 2 weeks due to injury. Boom, gets the ball, goes right to the end zone for the touchdown, but the wide receiver cannot hold on to the football. But an outstanding job in quarterback going for the end zone. That's going for the jugular right off the bat.
Would have been the 116th reception of the year for 22 touchdowns for Johnson had he been able to hold on. The motion man is Kusani Abdul Salam. Down the left side, there's a flag on the play. Incomplete the football was. Bobby McGowan's was the intended receiver, but Tristan Moss, #23, draws the first hanky of the ball game. Our referee this evening, assigned by the Arena Football League, is Jim Lapatina. And interestingly, he signaled that one against Oklahoma, saying that I assume the intended receiver McGowan's must have pitched off.
Well, it was a timing route on the outside. He tried to get position on the defender and gave a little push right at the end to go for the touchdown reception, but couldn't haul it in.
On the offense, #19. Penalty's going to be refused. 3rd down.
They call it on #19. That would have been #18. #19 is a backup quarterback, Justin Fuente. Watch it again.
Right over in the corner. Keep an eye on Bobby McGowan. He pushes off right there at the end. Just before the ball got there. You can't do that, obviously.
About the 2-yard line. Good call by the officials. So it's a 3rd and 10 from the Grand Rapids 16. Man is open. The motion man, but he cannot hang on. That was Kusani Abdul Salam, hit by Hassan Shamsuddin.
I'll tell you what, Eli, quarterback Ron Lopez does not look rusty at all. He needs help from his wide receivers. First, he gets a drop touchdown reception by Carlos Johnson, and then he gets a push off on the other side by McGowan's. Now he goes to Shamsuddin right here. He goes to his wide receiver, Abdul Salam, and he drops the ball. And you can't ask for anything more from your quarterback. He puts the ball exactly where it needs to go, and quarterback Ron Lopez should be upset with his wide receivers because he should have had a touchdown.
32-yard field goal attempt for Darren Alcorn. He is 4 of 7 from this distance. Now he's 4 of 8. That one is over the iron and gone. So Darren Alcorn, who did not have a good ball game last week. He missed 4 of 6 field goals a week ago and 1 extra point. We'll come back and talk more about the unusual story involving Darren Alcoin as we remain scoreless in Oklahoma City.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast Tough Actin' Tenactin pump spray works.
Tenactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with Tough Actin' Tenactin.
We perform in Cabaret.
I'm Rosie.
I'm Lulu.
And I'm anyone you want me to be.
It's hot.
This show's
Cabaret
very
is
sexy.
a hot,
Cabaret is a
sexy
hot show.
Live theater. Anything can happen.
No predictability.
Well, they asked us to try this
Degree Invisible Solid, body heat activated. Your body temperature goes up, it goes down, it goes up and down, and Degree stuck with me. I loved it.
No white marks, nothing. So they're looking at me and my flawless performance. We need this. Degree Invisible Solid.
Slick und clean und clear. Yes.
Coming soon from 3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up's Rodney. Ready or not, here I come.
The most intense 4-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
Arena football on TNN is being brought to you by Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant, and by Tenactin for tough cases of athlete's foot. There's Tough Actin' Tenactin. Eli Gold, Mark May, Jill Arrington, and everybody gathered here at the Myriad in Oklahoma City. That is Darren Alcoin. Most unusual story, the place kicker for Oklahoma.
It definitely is. Here's a kicker that commutes. And the reason why he commutes is because he has a tremendous job in Portland. Didn't want to leave home, but head coach convinced him to leave home, Bob Cortez, to come and play in Oklahoma. Now he goes to work during the week, then he flies out to wherever the team plays and kicks for the team. And he was a tremendous kicker last year, but this year he hasn't gotten the job done.
Problem is, during the week when he practices off a mechanical tee, he's not kicking into the hold of Ron Lopez or off the snap of Josh Eskew, and it is shown in the numbers. Max Nocky to Cleveland Pratt. Their furthest offensive gain of the evening for Grand Rapids. Mark Hicks makes the stop, or rather Mark Ricks, I should say, makes the stop at the 17-yard line, but a first down for Grand Rapids. The 224th first down of the year for the Rampage.
And Eli, I think quarterback Max Nocky had a TCU flashback. That was a little rollover jump pass over the offensive line. And, hey, whatever works, that's a great play to get your team moving. That's a first down.
All passes so far today from Nocky have gone to Cleveland Pratt, who is again in motion. Nocky goes incomplete. Looking for Keith Neal on the crossing pattern. It was broken up by Kasani Abdul-Salam. Keith Neal, he led all Rampage receivers last week in filling in for Michael Baker.
And nice job by Salam, coming up and forcing the issue right there. The ball's out in front of the wide receiver, Keith Neal, but Salam breaks on the play and goes right for the ball and attacks the ball. This defense for Oklahoma is tremendous. They know how to play the football.
But Jim Lapatina's crew has also thrown a flag, a personal foul, as they leveled Max Nocky after the play. So a roughing the passer penalty will force another march off out to midfield.
And it looked like he had pretty good protection. Picking up the blitz, the fullback picks up the blitz, but right at the end of the play, Chuck Reed just levels quarterback Nocky.
Now there's a story about the penalties that we'll be talking about for Oklahoma tonight as well. That was Chuck Reed who got hit with that personal. Nearly intercepted off the deflect. Getting his hands in was Bobby McGowan's. Oklahoma is so penalized that their head coach, Bob Cortez, has instituted a fine for any player who is penalized. It is $5 per yard. So if you're guilty of an offside, it's a 3-yard penalty in this league, you are assessed a $15 fine. If there's an 8-yard penalty, then it's a $40 fine. And he said, using his words, he says, we've got to stop the stupid penalties.
Well, they lead the league in penalties, and he said the last 2 weeks they've gotten better at it.
Nocky to throw. Nobody's there except the potential pass defender, Kasani Abdul-Salam. Keith Neal was, I assume, the intended receiver, number 19, but he was well behind the play.
quarterback Max Nocky did not have time on this play. He was hammered at the end of the play by Tom Briggs and Chris Butterfield. If a quarterback can't step up and throw the football and hands are in his vision, he's not going to see the receiver downfield. And that ball he just launched to get rid of it.
Grand Rapids, nothing of one in third down conversions here tonight.
50 sting wide cross on one. Ready? Let's go, guys. Keep me up there.
He wants protection on this play. That's a deeper drop, and he's going to sit back and try to get the first down and throw it deep. Asking for your line for protection. Every quarterback wants that.
Keith Neal in motion, but they going the other way, going long. Too long, incomplete. Hassan Shamsuddin was the intended receiver. Barry Dillard, number 3, had the cover. Dillard, who was a 4-year defensive back at Memphis, against Shamsuddin, who played at North Carolina State University.
And that was outstanding coverage down the field to play, and you couldn't ask for better than that. But I like both quarterbacks, particularly Max Nocky. He's taking the shots down the field. He's not afraid to throw the ball in the end zone.
All you got to have is movement, and we're good. Kicking it. Kick it. Kick it. Long field goal, King cover 6 on 7. Very good. Let's go.
They're going to kick from 41 yards away. This will be Brian Goins, who played for Northwestern at their Rose Bowl team a few years ago. From 41 yards, no. I don't believe they got the snap off in time. The kick was good, but I believe there will be a delay of game. I don't think they got the snap off.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 3-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So the 41-yard attempt now becomes a 44-yard attempt. And you know that guy right there, Goins, he was only 2 of 6 from this distance this year, and then he nails that one, and it gets drawn back.
He's been an accurate kicker, but from distance, he hasn't been very sharp. But this goes back to head coach Michael Trigg. He's got to make a decision quicker than that to get his team on the field to play, to take a shot at the field goal.
From 44 yards, not going to do it. That just hurt. Now there's a loose football, and it is covered by Oklahoma and a touchback. So the penalty just kills them. We are scoreless in the opening quarter as a 41-yard attempt was good, nullified by a delay of game penalty, and then Goins misses from 44.
Country road, country road, take me home to the place, I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home,
Country road. Thank you very much.
Call now and get your free travel guide.
33 years, 186 million batteries, over 700 billion starts. And now, Die Hard is stopping car thieves. Introducing the Die Hard Security Battery, the only battery that attacks auto theft at the source, the power source. Die Hard Security. To learn more, call us or come see it at Sears. The good life at a great price, guaranteed.
Twix.
It's all in the mix. Creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, caramel, crunchy, cookie, cookie, crunchy, chewy, creamy, caramel, chocolate, chewy, cookie, crunchy, creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, chewy, caramel, cookie, cookie, crunchy. Come on, creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, caramel, crunchy, cookie, cookie, crunchy, chewy, creamy, caramel, chocolate, chewy, cookie, crunchy, creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, caramel, crunchy, cookie, cookie, crunchy, chewy, creamy, caramel, chocolate, chewy, cookie, crunchy, creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, caramel, crunchy, cookie, cookie. It's all in the mix.
Hi, I'm Tony Conza. Our ad agency told me if you want to sell your wraps, Tony, put kids in your commercials. I told them oven-roasted deli turkey and guacamole in a spinach tortilla was enough. But what do I know? I'm just a simple sandwich man. How's that, Tony?
Simply Blimpie for hand-rolled wraps.
Do not jump. I'm going to say ready, go, then go. Do not jump. It's on 2. Okay, I'll go ahead and repeat it for you guys. We'll be all right. Let's go. Let's put this one in.
Ron Lopez, the quarterback, again reinforcing the fact that Oklahoma is the #1 penalized, the most penalized team in the league. He's saying, guys, sit tight.
And that's a great example of a leader in the huddle. Somebody that's taking charge saying, hey, guys, we should have put points on the board the last time we had the ball. Let's do what we do best and move the football and put points on the board. Listen up in the huddle because I'm going to lead you down the field. Lopez is 0 of 3 in passing, but remember, 2 of those were dropped passes.
Go! Go!
Nobody jumped. Wide open completion, Brian Green. He'll make it out towards first down yardage. He'll pick up 9 on the play to the 14-yard line. Oklahoma's offense. Of course, Carlos Johnson is the man, #1 receiver in the league out of Lane College in Tennessee. Tom Briggs, good to see him back with Butterfield and Reed. Tom is returning from a concussion out of the University of West Virginia. Tom Briggs is. From their own 14, Oklahoma in the red. Hard-running fullback Brian Goolsby out of Kansas State, the rookie. He'll pick up the first down. The Grand Rapids defense here at the Myriad in Oklahoma City tonight, led by Corey Mayfield, a former Oklahoma Sooner. If you're up on your college football, you might remember that. And Hassan Shamsuddin, the #2 tackler on the Grand Rapids team. 4 interceptions, 13 passes that he has broken up already this season. There is Shamsuddin, the MVP on defense for the Wolfpack back in 1996 in Raleigh, North Carolina. Ooh, hard hit again. Wes Caswell out of Tulsa, hit by the man we were just bragging on, Hassan Shamsuddin.
And that's a stick by Shamsuddin coming up and forcing the issue. That's what Abid backing up, watching the ball, boom, breaking on the ball and sticking a lick to the wide receiver and turning him sideways. That's a heck of a lick by Shamsuddin. And that's fun. I like doing stuff like that, particularly when they don't see you. Like, those are the best shots.
He led NC State in interceptions back in 1997. Coming underneath that time to Caswell, who'll make the grab out to the 25-yard line. Darius Hadley was in on the cover. Wes Caswell went to camp last year with the Indianapolis Colts. He was the leading receiver for the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa for 3 years. That's 3 years of the 6 years he went to Tulsa. That guy was a 6-year senior.
Not only that, I'll give you a trivia question. What NFL Hall of Famer does Caswell have more receptions at Tulsa than?
Steve Largent, ladies and gentlemen.
You're the man. You the man.
You the man.
Go, go.
There are flags. That time there was some movement at the line of scrimmage, right in the middle of things. And again, Jim Lapatina, the referee, will let us know who is guilty. Looked like Murray Garrett, number 97, might have gone first.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, number 97. The 3-yard penalty gives him enough for a first down.
Out of eastern New Mexico, Murray Garrett.
Eli, it's so tough when defensive linemen get up to the line of scrimmage because they've got that body lean where they raise their backside up and lean down and try to get the jump on the football. And if there's any movement at all on the offensive line, they're going to jump. I played offensive line for 13 years in the NFL. When I saw a guy leaning forward, I blink my eyes, I turn and spit, I try to get him to jump off sides, and those are little tricks of the trade down in the trenches.
Lopez has time, has a completion. It's complete to Carlos Johnson. Tristan Moss, number 23, was there on the tackle. Now, let me get this right. Did you spit first and then blink your eyes, or what?
A little bit of both. As long as I can get a movement, it didn't matter. Honestly, I love Lopez. 6'5", 220 pounds. The way that he can roll outside of the pocket, he's got sweet feet. But I'll tell you, down there in the trenches, hey, whatever it takes to get that defender moving, because a free 5 yards is a free 5 yards. That's one less play that you have to play in that series.
Went to camp with the San Diego Chargers, Ron Lopez did. Couple of years in junior college, then 2 years at Utah State. Goolsby, wide open, touchdown, Brian Goolsby. It'll be his first reception and his first touchdown of the year, 13 yards, and Oklahoma is on top, 6-0.
And Brian Goolsby, he's just going to sneak out of the backfield over to the right. Quarterback, look, there's nobody out there. Catch the ball, big fella. Rumble into the end zone. And he does just that. Good hands by a big guy coming out of the backfield and just cradling that football in for the score.
He's known as a great blocking fullback. Darren Alcoin with the extra point as Oklahoma leads 7-0. Brian Goolsby, he was all Big 12 honorable mention in his days at K-State. And now they love him in Oklahoma City.
Here's your regular internet homepage, and here's i1.com. It's free. You use it like Yahoo or other search engines to check news, stocks, weather. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
So there's one guaranteed winner every day.
I'd definitely choose this one.
Would you consider telling your friends about this?
No.
i1.com. Why wouldn't you?
Coming soon from 3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up's right there. Ready or not, here I come.
The most intense four-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
Davis drops back to pass. He's got Mitchell. Oh!
That was my lamp.
Mom always said, don't play ball in the house.
Orlando and Albany, Sunday at 3 on TNN.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry July 20th. You know, everybody comes to an arena football game. Donner and Blitzen and Rudolph are parked outside. Ron Lopez is here. Just orchestrated a 6-play, 45-yard scoring drive to the dismay of that man, Michael Trigg, who says, what are they doing throwing to a blocking fullback?
Yeah, that's why nobody was on him. No defenders were close to him. We never throw to the fullback. He's never had a reception, so they didn't cover him. They paid the price.
Cleveland Pratt is the deep man to field the kickoff of Darren Alcoin. He is Mr. Irrelevant. Darren Alcoin is. I say that with respect. He was the last player drafted in the 1993 NFL draft out of the University of Akron. And if you know, the last guy in the draft is always dubbed Mr. Irrelevant. And that was him.
I was always irrelevant, but I was drafted early.
Drafted early. Yeah. Yeah, you're irrelevant all the way into the Pro Bowl. Off the hands, loose football. And it's going to be a touchback. It is going to be a touchback. Hassan Shamsuddin. So now Max Nake spells his name K-N-A-K-E. But they have been knocking him down all night. That's what they've been doing.
They have been nailing quarterback Max Nake. And this defense has 19 sacks, and they're just plastering him. Every time they get a chance, they knock him to the turf. If you can't get a sack, you knock the quarterback around because you want him to get happy feet, particularly a quarterback that doesn't have a lot of experience. And that's the game plan of the defense of Oklahoma. Get in his face, blood him a little bit, knock him around on the turf.
Of course, he did throw for 7,300 yards at TCU. Quick release. Nice move, Demo Odoms for first down yardage out across the 20. Kassani Abdul-Salam will get credit for the tackle. Demo Odoms, a 3-year starter at wide receiver for the University of Iowa.
What I like about Demo Odoms, the way he protected the football. As soon as he caught the ball, he was surrounded by defenders. Watch his hands. He's going to be catching the ball out here, but watch his hands. As soon as he makes a move, both hands around it. Then he sees the defenders. He cradles the ball up, protects the football. Smart football by Demo Odoms.
He teaches special ed classes in the offseason. Demo Odoms does in his home of Austin, Texas. Nake looking. Demo is looking. Nake gets knocked down again. You see that scrum right there?
That was a scrum, and he got drilled into the turf. He's looking around, adjusted his helmet. I can't see.
The other thing is, too, as the quarter is about to expire, the backup at quarterback tonight is seldom used John Fitzgerald with Jason Martin not dressing. And Michael Trigg, the coach, told us yesterday, he said, if Fitzgerald has to come in, he's a good quarterback. He was with Tampa Bay, but it's going to have to totally simplify our offense. And that ensures something that Oklahoma knows as well. That's why they are trying to tee off on quarterback Max Nocky. 1 quarter complete. The Wranglers lead 7-0.
It's the wildest ride on hooves, and the rider can only use one hand. Don't miss championship bull riding from Grand Rapids, Sunday night at 9 Eastern and Pacific on TNN.
These eyes see things that other eyes can't even imagine. These eyes have seen streaking receivers, blitzing linebackers, adoration, admonishment, and challenge. These eyes can check off 5 receivers in 1.8 seconds and find the open one. With NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV, your eyes will see the glory and the story of 13 games every Sunday of the regular season. Order NFL Sunday Ticket today because the eyes have it.
Some people will watch anything. But for everyone else, the Total Choice Platinum Package from DirecTV gives you the ultimate in entertainment. 32 premium movie channels, over 25 great sports channels, plus over 100 general entertainment channels. When you stop spinning your wheels, order the Total Choice Platinum Package from DirecTV and do your hamster a favor. Put his cage in front of the TV.
Welcome back, everybody. There is Max Nocky. By the way, want to say hello to Tom Schofield. He's a regular member of our traveling crew, works in the graphics department down in the truck to bring all those words that you see on the screen to you at home. His dad is ill, and Scoey is not with us here tonight, nor will he be in Albany on Sunday afternoon. So, Scoey, just want to let you know we're thinking of you and your dad and the whole family, and look forward to seeing you back in time for the playoffs next week. Nocky comes to the line of scrimmage. Do they go with a screen to try and offset that pass rush? No. Nocky looks long, and it cannot be held on to by Keith Neal. He gave it an effort. He had beaten Abdul Salam. I almost expected we might have seen a screen to put a halt to that massive pass rush.
Well, they had the stack position on the outside, and wide receiver Keith Neal just beats his man, but a great job by Nocky avoiding the rush. And here he has him beat deep. He just can't bring the ball in and cradle it in for the reception. The ball is put perfectly right out in front of him where he can just bring it in, but he just can't concentrate on the handles and hook up with the football.
Oklahoma's stats on the right, Grand Rapids on the left. Those are the first quarter numbers. Not scintillating. 0 of 2 in third down conversions. Wide open for the first down reception and more. Keith Neal. They left him alone. Barry Dillard played him soft, and they found Neal just cruising across midfield.
And Keith Neal is getting separation from defender Barry Dillard. And he can get open all day. They're not respecting him out there. They're not playing him close down the field to play. And that's going to give him an opportunity. If quarterback Nocky gets enough time, he can throw the ball to Keith Neal all evening long.
Now, Tony Bullock, and right there, Joey Wiley and Corey Mayfield. Got to give them a call there because they did give Nocky a ton of time with which to work and allow Neal to get free of Dillard.
I love it when you praise the offensive line.
Well, you pay me $1.50 every time I do it. I'll keep doing it all night. Was it tough toiling in anonymity? I mean, everybody wants those headlines, and you got them with Super Bowl rings and all-pro performances.
Offense, number 91, 3-yard penalty, still first down.
But like there, the only time you talk about it, number 91, is when he does something wrong. Corey Mayfield. Was it tough for him not getting the headlines?
It's always tough, but you take it as pride when you know that that running back gets a touchdown, or you know if that quarterback doesn't get sacked. You win the football game because you did a great job blocking for the quarterback, making blocks for the running back, and sustaining drives for your offense, keeping your defense off the field. You know, and your teammates know how valuable you really are.
That was the third penalty against Grand Rapids. Flag on the play. Underneath Cleveland Pratt. Looked like Chuck Reed might have even jumped. He's the man who made the play defensively. That could be a $15 fine upcoming right there. Remember, Oklahoma has that fine system if indeed the call goes against the defense. And a lucky charity here in the Oklahoma City area gets 15 more bucks from that man's team. That is Bob Cortez, head coach of the Wranglers.
What I want to hear the players saying, was it you? No, it wasn't you. Was it you? No, it wasn't me. It's not costing me 15.
Jim LaPatina will tell us who it is.
Offside, defense, number 10, 3-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
And tonight's total, let's go to the tote board.
Ching, 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 ching. $55 already.
God. A lucky charity here in the Oklahoma City area. The beneficiaries of Oklahoma's largesse.
Now, that is an ingenious idea. I wish I thought of that when I played. That would be a great program.
Yeah.
Put it on the internet or something like that.
Even in the kangaroo court.
Oh, the kangaroo court's big. Yeah. That's big. That may cost him double in the kangaroo court.
I bet. First and goal. Pratt. Hard work for nothing, and he loses the football. It is picked up by Dillard, and Dillard is going to go, but the play may be coming back. Dillard runs it, but there are flags back at the 15-yard line. If it counts, it'll be a 40-yard return for the touchdown by Barry Dillard. But let's wait and see if Cleveland Pratt might have been out of bounds. Maybe he was already downed. And there are flags on top of all that.
And Eli, the key to this play is the hustle of the defense for Oklahoma. They swarm the offensive player when he gets the ball. It's not one tackler. They come with 3, 4, and 5 tacklers to hit whoever has the football.
Mark Ricks and Bobby McGowan's were there to hit along with Dillard.
After the fumble recovery, personal foul, clipping on the return team, number 10. 8-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So it is going to be a fumble recovery. 8-yard penalty is $40 more. Let's add that to the tote board. Watch Pratt.
And it's a great job of swarming to the football and knocking it loose. And right here, Dillard picks it up and runs. We don't see the clip right there, but the key to this is in 2 plays, Chuck Reed just cost himself $55. Take another look at it, see if we can find number 10. There's the ball. Dillard is smart. Johnny on the spot picks it up and takes off running. Right there's the clip. You can see it right at the bottom of your screen. That was Chuck Reed with a clip.
But nevertheless, Oklahoma does have the ball. Looking long and a great defensive move. Hassan Shamsuddin knocked it away from Kassani Abdul Salam. That'll be the second pass that he has broken up tonight. That was a big one.
It was, and that's a nice play by Shamsuddin. But the key is quarterback Ron Lopez. You can't loft the ball out there. If you're going to throw this ball, it's got to be a dart. You can't lunge it out there. You've got to throw it to your guy. Even though he's breaking in that area, the defender's got the right to break also, and Salam made an excellent play on the ball.
Yes, it is a low-scoring affair. Maybe that is not something that should have surprised us. Lopez, wide open. Abdul Salam, so long. And did you see what Carlos Johnson did, the offensive specialist, to spring that 40-yard run by Abdul Salam?
Abdul Salam ran an outstanding route. He's wide open in the middle of the field. But keep your eye on number 80, Carlos Johnson. The #1 receiver in the AFL makes a tremendous block. Here he is. Abdul Salam catches the block. But watch up here. Johnson's got to make a terrific block. Bam! Right there. And you can't ask for anything more. That's protecting your teammates, launching an incredible block, freeing him for the touchdown.
Darius Hadley was the man who was taken off the play by Carlos Johnson. Abdul Salam gets the TD. Carlos will get the accolades in the film room.
And that is terrific teamwork, Eli. When you're down the field of play, you expect to get blocks from your wide receivers, but that was a knee knocker.
Now Oklahoma is going to take timeout. The play clock was down to 7 seconds. And they were deciding whether to go for 1, whether to go for 2, exactly what they were going to do. And they elect to take time. Let's listen in.
On that Z high, they didn't follow me on my boot. They all flowed. On the 32 reach, like if we went Z high, 33 reach. I'm not running the ball with you. You scared?
He said, we're not running the ball, man. Forget it.
Loop right rip, 92. No, let's go, yeah. Loop right rip, 92 double. Now, watch Bobby too now. Yeah. Be able to read Bobby too. Starting off hard. Huh? Starting off hard. All right. Carlos, you got to go upfield before you burst across. We're going to go loop right, rip, 92 double. Kasani. Hard left, let's go. Fuck him, let's go.
Is this standard as far as...
Kasani, I need a 2-yard boundary hit.
Now they are saying... One of the arguments here is that they say Kasani Abdul-Salam stepped out of bounds.
We're going to go loop right rip.
That's why they're bringing the play back. They said he stepped out of bounds at the 4. And that's what the other part of the discussion was. You hear the fans booing now as they too, like we, just realized that he had stepped out of bounds. So it's still 7-0. And the pass broken up neatly by Tristan Moss, but there was a flag on the play. They went to Bobby McGowan. Tristan Moss out of Western Michigan, the guilty party.
Pass interference on a defense, number 23, half the distance to the goal line, automatic, first down.
Now we do have a replay that does show Abdul-Salam stepping out of bounds, so the officials made the right call.
And let's keep an eye on his feet. Right there, he steps down the sideline.
Sure did.
But everyone thought it was a touchdown. They even had it on the scoreboard. Everyone was cheering, and we thought it was a touchdown also. But he stepped on the line, and it's a great call by the officiating crew.
Here's the pitch. Hard running. Touchdown, Kasani Abdul-Salam. So he does get his touchdown. A 4-yard run. Kasani Abdul-Salam. And now Oklahoma is on top, 13-0.
And it's poetic, Justin. Here's Abdul-Salam. He's going to come around. The pitch is made to him by Lopez. He gets great blocks on the outside, but right here he gets stuck on the 1, but he won't be denied. He just bulls his way into the end zone.
Marcellus Mostella, number 24, hit him, but just solid, hard-nosed football by Abdul-Salam. Now, the officials are going to add a penalty on and bring the football out to the 5-yard line. The extra point by Alcoin is up and good. So they don't make it any easier for Darren Alcoin. It is another penalty, $15 more against Oklahoma.
There is a rhythm to life. We sleep at night and wake in the morning. It's this sleep cycle that helps keep us in a healthy balance. But for millions of Americans, sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. With Ambien, you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and generally wake without feeling groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. Patients who abuse prescription sleep aids may become dependent. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. Take Ambien only when you can devote a full night to sleep and wake up rested and ready to start your day. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. Ambien works like a dream.
We perform in cabaret.
I'm Rosie.
I'm Lulu.
And I'm anyone you want me to be.
It's hot.
This show is very sexy. Cabaret is a hot show.
Live theater. Anything can happen.
No predictability.
Well, they asked us to try Degree invisible solid, body heat activated. Your body temperature goes up, it goes down, it goes up and down, and Degree stuck with me. I loved it. No white marks, nothing. So they're looking at me and my flawless performance. We need this. Degree invisible solid. Slick and clean and clear. Yes.
Coming soon from 3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up's right now. Ready or not, here I come.
The most intense 4-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast, tough-acting, Tenactin pump spray works.
Tenactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with tough-acting Tenactin.
Welcome back, 14-0 Oklahoma. Kashani Abdul-Salam on a 4-yard run. And a 13-yard Lopez to Brian Goolsby touchdown pass. The deep man is Cleveland Pratt, number 3. Handles it a couple of yards deep. Big running room. Can O'Connor stop him? No. But good hustle down to the 5-yard line. Give credit there to number 18, Bobby McGowans, on a 45-yard run back by Cleveland Pratt.
And a great job by Pratt handling the football. But right here when he makes his break, watch right there, McGowans is going to lead him through and make a chip block. And that allows the return man, Cleveland Pratt, to show his speed. He's showing his heels to the field. Nice job of returning the football. Talking to head coach Michael Trigg, he said, we have more speed on the outside at the receiver position and in our return game than we've ever had.
That's one of the byproducts of all the injuries. On the pitch to Pratt. To the 4-yard line. That was Tom Briggs, number 93, recovering from the concussion. There to woe down Cleveland Pratt.
Eli, it's always amazed me after an offensive player's made a big return or a big play, you want him to get the touchdown, you give him the ball. He may be tired after that. Give him one play off and then come back to that player.
I always ask for a play off after a 45-yard run back.
I never ran 45 yards in a game, so I'll never know.
Well, I did. I think it was 12 yards on one game. The next game I ran 10 yards. From the 4 of Oklahoma. Fullback Chris Ryan to the 2. It was Ron Perry and Chris Butterfield who stopped Chris Ryan. He is the number 1 rusher on the Grand Rapids football team. And now the Rampage, 1 of 3 in 3rd down conversions.
Why motion?
Looking at 3rd and goal from 1.5 yards away. Remember, Oklahoma's defense is the best statistically in the Arena Football League. Ryan, not going to get there. Not going to get there. Looked like he might have slipped or tripped.
That's what it looked like. When you get a big guy like Chris Ryan out there, he's 6'1", 280 pounds. He's bigger than 2 out of the 3 linemen. Here he's going to take the pitch. He's going to run to the outside. Watch his feet. He's going to step on one of his blocker's feet to the outside. He gets tripped.
Huh? No.
And that's one thing on goal line situations. You've got to be patient. Let your blocks develop and then punch it into the end zone. Don't rush it. Keep your eye on the big man's feet. 280 pounds right there. He's going to try to plant and move right there and trips over his offensive lineman, Murray Garrett. And he's just got to be patient and let his blocks set up and punch it into the end zone.
Grand Rapids is already 0 of 1 in 4th down conversions tonight. Everybody jumps. Everybody jumps. And we'll see who jumped first.
Prior to the snap, false start, 60, offense, 3-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Buster Stanley, the lineman out of Michigan, brings about the 5th penalty flag of the night against Grand Rapids. So they're going to kick it away, one would assume, by Brian Goins. This will be a 20-yard chip shot. From this distance, he is 8 of 9 this year. The quarterback, Max Nocky, is the holder. And that one was a gimme. So Brian Goins putting Grand Rapids on the board for the first time tonight. But Oklahoma's defense didn't yield.
Try this. Call up your auto insurance company and ask them to give you a quote.
And then ask them to give you the prices of their 3 major competitors also.
See what they say.
Progressive wants you to know that 6-month rates can really vary from company to company.
On average, you could be paying $522 more than you have to.
If you're not shopping around, you can be losing a lot of money.
Call Progressive at 1-800-AUTO-PRO or visit us online at progressive.com.
We'll give you our price, and if you'd like, the rates from up to 3 other leading companies.
Even if their prices are lower than ours.
I didn't believe it either, but it's true. I can go online 24 hours a day and compare rates.
We have these things called IRVs, immediate response vehicles.
It's like a mini claims office right there in the car.
So call us right now at 1-800-AUTO-PRO.
If we can't save you money on auto insurance, we'll tell you who can.
Shop and buy at progressive.com or call 1-800-AUTO-PRO.
There is Michael Trigg, not a happy man, even though his team did get a 3-play, 2-yard drive yielding a field goal. During the commercial break, he was talking to some of his players, trying to find out how quarterback Max Nocky was doing in the huddle. Again, hasn't as much playing time as other quarterbacks.
And he wants to find out what's going on out there, because you've got a young quarterback, you've got some experienced veterans around him, so you're going to ask them, hey, what's going on out there? He's not executing, he's not doing the things that I want him to do. What's going on out in the huddle? And he's getting an explanation from his veteran players.
Goins will kick it away. Mark Ricks is the deep man, number 17, who will not be able to make a return. Let's go downstairs to Jill.
You're right, Eli. You saw Santa here a little earlier because he's part of our Christmas in the Summer promotion. The Arena Football League and Walter Payton's Alliance for the Children invite you to participate in a holiday toy drive to help kids in need. Just bring a brand new toy to your team's final home game or send it to the address you see on the screen. Your donated toys will be welcome holiday gifts to kids in AFL cities during the Christmas season. So Santa's here in Oklahoma collecting toys tonight. Eli?
That really has become a very, very popular league-wide promotion, and folks, you can take advantage of that in all the upcoming playoff games. Certainly do your part. Should be give you a good feeling. Ron Lopez, the quarterback. Number 80 is Carlos Johnson in motion, and they go to Carlos. He'll make the grab at the 13-yard line before being run out of bounds by Anthony Phillips.
Carlos Johnson leads the AFL in receptions. We said it before, but he gets so much respect by the defense that they give him a cushion out there. Andrew Mitchell's the injured player that's on the ground.
Carlos Johnson, that was only his second reception of the evening, as they do tend to Andrew Mitchell out of Savannah State, a third-year player. He had a sprained knee last year. That kept him on the shelf for much of the season. This is not a sprained knee. Let's watch him there. The old, he gets fallen on. That's what happens. Going backwards.
That's 300 pounds falling on him.
Yeah, that was Buster Stanley at 6'3", 300 pounds, falling on him. Would have knocked the wind out of me.
And if you look at their offensive line, they virtually have their backups in there at this point, their second team in this point. And Tom Briggs is usually a starter in there. He had a concussion last week. Chris Butterfield and Chuck Reed, he's been flagged numerous times tonight. I guess he's probably glad not to be in there tonight. It's already been a deep pocket for him this evening on the penalties.
Fernell Hankton checks in, formerly of the LSU Tigers, number 87.
Keep an eye on Fernell. He's got one reception, but it's for 21 yards. He can go deep.
Remember Carl Hankton in the NFL? His relative played with the Philadelphia Eagles. Lopez looks. Lopez throws away a souvenir. 3 rows up in section 102. Looked like Dustin Anderson, who's getting more and more comfortable now with the Grand Rapids scheme of things, is in there carte blanche.
And Dunstan Anderson, number 58, keep an eye on him. He's got a very good reputation. Ex-NFL player, can break on the ball, fight through offensive blockers, played 7 years for 6 different teams in the NFL, and he sports a Super Bowl ring from the Dallas Cowboys in 1996. But this is a player that they just brought in. They think he can get after the quarterback, and right there you just saw a good example of him putting pressure on quarterback.
Now there was a flag for holding that time on the defense, so a first down is going to be tacked on here as the yardage is enough to give Oklahoma a first down.
You think Bob Cortese, the head coach of Oklahoma, told Ron Lopez, look, we're finally getting you back after 2 weeks of rest and you're getting knocked around and injured. When you're in a situation like that, just throw the ball away. We don't want you getting hit.
Brian Green is wide. Johnson is the man in motion. That one is knocked away as everybody was in on top of Ron Lopez that time. Hey, folks, coming up on Saturday night here on TNN, the ASA drivers traveling to Salem, Indiana for 300 laps on the historic high banks of Salem Speedway. Make sure you see the Tecumseh 300. That is Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, right here on TNN Sports. And then remember, the next day, Sunday at 3, myself and Mark and Jill, the whole crew, we will be in Albany. A special Sunday afternoon edition of Arena Football on TNN, Orlando at Albany. Lopez shut that one, and it was caught by Bobby McGowans. Man, to make something out of nothing. Tristan Moss picks up the tackle stat, but Lopez was running and looking and just chucked it up, and McGowans beats Tristan Moss to the football.
Tremendous touch by quarterback Ron Lopez, but Bobby McGowans adjusting to the football. Watch Lopez. He pumps and looks, and here he gets pressured. He just launches the ball up. But look at the adjustment by McGowans right here, coming back, leaching out, bringing that football in, then staying in bounds, but he steps right there.
And another penalty against Grand Rapids. It was Anthony Phillips who was there defending.
That was an outstanding play. Athleticism going up for the football, adjusting to the ball, coming back for it. Great reception by Bobby McGowans.
And Michael Trigg can't believe all the penalties.
If you look at both of these teams, Eli, the number 1 team that's penalized the most is Oklahoma, the Wranglers. The number 4 teams, Grand Rapids. So both of these teams are right up there and the highest penalized teams in the league.
McGowan was the 6th different receiver to have caught a pass from Lopez tonight. Hard running Carlos Johnson, touchdown. When in doubt, go to the big play guy. Carlos Johnson with the touchdown and the obligatory dance.
They did a great job on the outside. Trips formation, 3 wide receivers to the right. 2 wide receivers go down the field to draw the defense off. Carlos Johnson is just waiting for the football. Nobody touches him, but look at him fight into the end zone. Great job by Johnson.
A 5-yard reception. Alcorn with the extra point by inches. And Oklahoma, who with a win and some help from their friends around the league, could still host a home playoff game. They're doing their part. They're up 21-3.
Hungry for seafood? When your hunger strikes, there's only one thing to do. Head to Red Lobster for lobster and shrimp. Sweet, succulent lobster together with mouth-watering shrimp. Just $12.99 right now at Red Lobster. So hurry in and get it before it's gone.
You see cars with nameplates like these on the hood. Mercedes-Benz AMG, Dodge Viper, Aston Martin. But did you know there's another nameplate underneath it? Here, Mobil 1, Corvette, Porsche, all these cars come with Mobil 1 in the engine and the recommendation to keep on using it. You don't have a car like that? Me neither. But it only costs a little more to treat mine the same.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast, tough-acting, Tenactin pump spray works.
Tenactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with tough-acting Tenactin.
Coming soon from 3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up's right there. Ready or not, here I come.
The most intense four-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
TNN Action Wednesdays are hotter than ever on the Magnificent Seven.
Get down!
A judge gets justice for the town. Then on 18 Wheels of Justice,
You see that?
Chance meets a real character. And on Dead Man's Gone, two con women pose as nuns. The action starts at 8 Eastern with the Magnificent Seven, followed by 18 Wheels of Justice at 9 and Dead Man's Gone at 10. Only on TNN Action Wednesdays. One hot night.
We all remember what happened at 9:02 in the morning on April 19th, 1995. The Alfred P. Murrah building here in Oklahoma City destroyed in the largest terrorist attack in U.S. history. 168 lives were lost. Well, now in that same spot at Northwest 5th Street here in Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City National Memorial. Very, very moving to visit. They have two big memorials. One says 901, the other side says 903, and what happened in between at 902 certainly lives on in everybody's memory and is something that even to this day brings shivers to you. And we spent a good bit of time there yesterday, as seemingly everybody does who comes to Oklahoma City, just reflecting. Darren Alcorn to kick it away for the Oklahoma Wranglers. Off Cleveland Pratt. Cleveland Pratt out to nearly the 20-yard line. Hey, he's a handful out of Edinburgh. Barry Dillard finally puts him away after a 25-yard return. Oh, look at those numbers.
Right there, the key. Touchdowns. 3 for Oklahoma, 0 for Grand Rapids. And that's execution by the quarterback. That's your trigger man back there executing the offense. And you've got a quarterback and Ron Lopez that knows his offense very well, is mature, and has been out there a leader. And Max Nocke's virtually a backup in this position, and he needs to execute better for his offense.
Push. Grand Rapids waiting for Craig Cusick to come back. The veteran, who had appeared in 11 games this year before going down with an injury, is due back for the playoffs. Nockey going towards Pratt, overthrows him by a long distance. And you know, Michael Trigg is really in a jam here, because if Nockey doesn't get the job done, then he goes to a real inexperienced man in his offense, being John Fitzgerald. Let's go downstairs quickly to Jill for an injury update.
Well, Andrew Mitchell, I went and checked on him. He has a chronic shoulder problem. He got hit pretty hard, or maybe I should say landed on pretty hard by a player, so it banged his shoulder a little bit. He is okay, and he says he'll be back in the game.
Oh, certainly good news right there for the big guy out of Savannah State. From their own 17, Nockey has time and misfires, and now Cleveland Pratt is going to say, hey, Abdul Salam was holding me, but the officials give Pratt no attention.
And here's the key. Great protection by the offensive line. Gives their quarterback perfect timing to step up in the pocket and throw. That's what I mean by execution. You've got to execute the offense. You've got to throw the ball in a timely manner.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Bunch right. Wide short. 50. Z-cross. Double corner switch. I'm one. Ready?
They're going deep with the football. He wants a 5-step drop out of this.
They are 1 of 4. Grand Rapids is in third down conversions. You see the bunch on the right, and Pratt is in motion out of that set. Everybody's covered. There are flags down. That's the fullback, Chris Ryan, who ends up with the football. But again, everybody was covered. Great work by the Oklahoma defensive secondary. And then flags came flying.
That's why this defense is ranked number 1 in the AFL. They know how to get after the quarterback, and they've got a defensive secondary that can cover downfield and cause fits for quarterbacks.
Illegal defense. They're good, but you got to do it within the rules.
Illegal defense, number 85. He was out of the box before the quarterback. ran out of the pocket. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That is Adrian Jarrell, who was just signed 2 days ago by Oklahoma. He played for Notre Dame. He was on that same team with Milwaukee Mustangs quarterback Kevin McDougal, that great undefeated team in South Bend. But Adrian Jarrell, guilty, and add more money to the Oklahoma tote board, now up to $135 in fines.
Do you think it'll get over 250 before the night's over?
Might get over 250 in the final minute of the half. We have come to the 1-minute timing rules. Timeouts. Grand Rapids has 3. Oklahoma has 2. Those kids having a great time. And we are going to break away and take care of some business. We're coming back with the final minute of play in half 1 in Oklahoma City.
33 years, 186 million batteries, over 700 billion starts. And now, Die Hard is stopping car thieves. Introducing the Die Hard Security Battery, the only battery that attacks auto theft at the source, the power source. Die Hard Security. To learn more, call us or come see it at Sears. A good life at a great price, guaranteed.
Tom Green here at Muscle Beach with some big, tough weightlifters.
We're going to show how new right guard extreme sport works even under the most extreme conditions.
Back, stop! Run! Oh no, the kid is going to get you! He got you! Extreme protection against odor and wetness. Goes on clear and it doesn't quit.
New right guard extreme sport. Get extreme. Get right guard.
Ouch.
ECW Wrestling in the Thrill Zone on TNN. A last-minute save by the network prevents the Sandman from taking the heavyweight title. ECW Wrestling, Friday at 8 Eastern on TNN.
She's in the black Bonneville.
The 2000 Bonneville with MagnaSteer. It uses an advanced magnetic field for handling so precise, it can even outmaneuver itself.
Stop all black Bonnevilles.
The 2000 Bonneville SSEI. Luxury with attitude by Pontiac.
Frost brewed Coors Light. Nice choice.
Thanks.
Nothing like some ice cold Rocky Mountain perfection to wet your whistle.
Yeah, you sure know a lot about beer. Come here often?
I haven't missed a game yet.
Really? Whoa. Could this get any better? Wow.
You're spilling your beer.
She's a beer man.
Your beer.
Whoa.
Hey, guys. Receivers, come here. Come here, Demo. Hey, we got to make this happen, all right? Huh? Let's make some plays right now, all right?
Got to make some plays. They really do. As Max Nocky is talking to his team members, and there's Coach Michael Trigg, who was in the quarterback's ear during the timeout.
They need a spark offensively. They need a touchdown going into the half.
Yeah, you can't go to halftime with only one field goal to show for the work. Long range touchdown, it worked. Touchdown to Reggie Ray. Barry Dillard was fighting him, but it's going to be 23 yards to Reggie Ray. His first reception, his first touchdown for Oklahoma, for Grand Rapids.
And the reason why this play is successful, watch Reggie Ray. It's a deep post pattern. He's going to fight for the ball, Barry Dillard. Both of them are breaking on the ball right there, but he concentrates and just takes the ball away, and he wins that battle and gets the reception for the touchdown.
And Max says, all right.
So that's what we need to get us going.
Meanwhile, there is an injury. Looks like Tom Briggs. Indeed it is. Remember, Tom coming back off that concussion. Been around a while out of West Virginia. Was cut by the Atlanta Falcons with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the CFL. But he was all Big East as a junior at West Virginia.
And that's one thing, the word that everyone's hearing is concussions about football. And it's one thing you have to be very protective of. And, you know, he had a mild concussion last week. Maybe you should have waited a week or two. It's great that you want to be a tough guy.
He came back, missed a good bit of practice. Did do some work on Tuesday. So it's 21-9 with the extra point yet to come. Hey, folks, don't forget to join us on Sunday at 3 o'clock here on TNN. A special edition of Arena Football. We head to Albany for a rematch of last year's Arena Bowl. Jay Gruden and the Orlando Predators heading north. They'll take on Mike Pawlowski and the defending Arena Bowl champion Albany Firebirds. That is Sunday at 3. Hope you can join us for that one. We'll see you folks up at the Pepsi Arena in Albany, New York. Want to find out more about it? AFL on TNN.com is where you can log on and get all the information about that ball game.
And I'm looking forward to going back up there. It's been a while since I've been back to upstate New York where I'm from, and I'm anxious to see Albany play. The Giants practice up there, but I'm anxious to see Albany play. They're a heck of a franchise.
Extra point is up and good. So Brian Goins draws the Rampage to within 11. Michael's still not happy. His folks are in town. Michael Trigg has Ma and Pa Trigg with him here in Oklahoma City. Had a chance to meet them yesterday. Nice couple.
When Ma and Pa come to a game as a player or a coach, you want to shine that day. You want to win. You want to do well. And here's a situation where his offense is not executing. And on that series, they did. They finally got it together. That's something they can go into halftime, even though there's a lot of time left, saying, hey, we can build on this for the second half. We can put points on the board against the #1 defense in the league.
That was a 3-play drive, 31 yards, 2 minutes and 21 seconds. You know, I talked to Michael Trigg yesterday and asked him how tough it is, or if you can even motivate a team when you're already in the playoffs.
If you look at who you have to play, if you're the lowest seed in this tournament, it means you get the grand prize of going to Phoenix or San Jose, which in San Jose has been really tough for us, so we don't match up real well there. So there is a lot of motivation for us to try to finish in the 8th and 9th, 10th spot, because, you know, who you play is someone who you feel you're a little more competitive with in the first rounds.
And, of course, in the first round, no one knows what will happen yet out west, because we've got to wait for the outcome of the games involving Arizona and Iowa, and also San Jose and Buffalo. Here is Brian Goins. Mark Ricks is deep. Johnson, the blocker, ahead of him. But the blocking breaks down at around the 12-yard line. Joey Wiley gets that tackle on special teams. There's the playoff picture. You see the two teams here tonight. They're 9th and 10th in the seed. Those 12 are in. There's no question that those 12 teams are in the playoffs. But notice, San Jose 11-2, Arizona 11-2. San Jose will win the West if they end up with an identical record with Arizona. What would have to happen for the Rattlers is for them to win at Iowa and for San Jose to be upset by Ray Bentley's Buffalo Destroyers. In that scenario, then Arizona would win the West and San Jose would drop. Something to see. The two best teams in the league record-wise still not knowing where they're going to be seated. That's Ron Perry, the fullback, who just lumbers forward. There you see Ron Lopez's numbers.
That's the key right there. No interceptions, 2 touchdowns, and coming back off the 2 weeks. Sharp football.
Hey, block it up. Block it up. We're going to go left cluster home. Roger sail on sound, on sound. Hey.
They're definitely going on the first snap. That's the key, but they've got everybody clustered all to the right.
Lopez going long. Looking, overthrows Kasani Abdul Salam. He had beaten Tristan Moss, but just too much on the football that time. Hey, folks, don't forget Jill is getting ready downstairs. She has the Degree halftime report. Interesting feature on Brian Goins, the kicker for Grand Rapids. Mark and I will be back here with highlights and stats. We'll look ahead to the games upcoming this weekend. All of that hosted by Miss Jill Arrington on the Degree halftime report. 1 of 2 and third down conversions, Oklahoma. Carlos Johnson in motion, and he's got his man beat, but they come up short. They'll go short to get the guaranteed yardage to the 25-yard line. Bobby McGowan's made the grab. Now Carlos had beaten Tristan Moss.
He had him beat deep, and he's upset out there, and visibly upset, and he has a reason why. That he had easy pickings out there for a touchdown, and you don't get that often, but when you can get by coverage and you're wide open, you should get the ball.
Everybody's kind of milling around right now, but there's Carlos. He's calmed down a bit. But he had Tristan Moss beat and beaten badly.
And you don't get those opportunities that often, particularly when you're a good wide receiver, as Carlos Johnson is. And, you know, that's his opportunity to step up and make a big play. After your opposition has just gone down and put one in the end zone, you want to get one right back before halftime. And he felt that was his opportunity.
Ron Lopez played at Iowa, Anaheim, Florida, San Jose, Portland, and Oklahoma in the Arena Football League.
So what you're saying is he's got a lot of frequent flyer miles.
He does that.
Hey, come here.
That was the voice of Coach Bob Cortez.
Shut up. Let's change our protection. I want to go left Roger. Okay? Left home. Listen, left home Roger. Let's go high. Left high home Roger. Pin.
Is he sure?
If it pays off, he was guaranteed sure.
Hold on. Hey, we got left high, home Roger, pin. On two, ready?
Well, let's see what comes out of all those meetings. Go! Johnson in motion. Fumbled on the snap, but there are flags.
It's going to be Corey Mayfield offsides.
Number 91 in white, Corey Mayfield. All Big 8 with the Oklahoma Sooners.
See him on that play? It looked like a groundhog. He's about 2 inches off the turf, just crawling forward.
Punxsutawney Corey.
Maybe he thought there was maybe a hamburger out there, a hot dog. He's getting close to halftime. He's 305 pounds. He's hungry.
Don't hear me saying anything about a big man. We'll hear what the referee has to say, Jim Lapatina.
We have 2 fouls on a play. Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, number 91. That's a 3-yard penalty. After that play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 71. That'll be an 8-yard penalty. Still first down.
So that's going to be another $40 penalty against Chris Butterfield. It's the 5th flag on Oklahoma, the 7th on Grand Rapids.
And that's a situation for the center, Chris Butterfield. He's protecting himself. You've got a 300-pounder crawling through your legs when you're just trying to back up and protect yourself. It's not stopping. You got to give him a little shot, and that's what he did, but he got caught for it.
Chris Butterfield, number 71 for Oklahoma. Remember now, the Wranglers with the ball have no timeouts remaining. That will stop the clock as they move the chains. Carlos Johnson with the first down grab, a big one to the 13-yard line.
And a great working relationship between quarterback Ron Lopez and his wide receiver Carlos Johnson. They're on the same page. Ron Lopez stays in the pocket, gets tagged just before he releases the ball, and it's a deep out to Carlos Johnson. His concentration on the football. Watch Johnson going down the field leisurely. When he makes his break, that's his quickness point right there. Breaks to the outside, cradles the ball in for the first down.
Tristan Moss, number 23, was playing him off. Again, the Wranglers with the ball have no timeouts remaining.
Ready, go!
Johnson in motion. Hard running down to Bobby McGowan at the goal line. Bobby McGowan gets to the 2. Now remember, they will stop the clock while they move the chains. Then Lopez, no doubt, will take the snap and just spike the football, or in this case, throw it away for a souvenir.
And what's impressive to me about Carlos Johnson, I talked about his blocking before, but on that play, it's a quick screen to the outside. He blocks for Bobby McGowan's to the outside, and that's what sets up this play. And you can't ask for anything more than that. Most wide receivers don't want to block. But keep an eye to the outside over here to the right of your screen, right here. Keep an eye on number 80 right there, throwing a block. And that enables Bobby McGowan to get by the first tier of defender and pick up positive yardage closer to the goal line.
You guys might remember the name of Andre Johnson. That was Carlos's dad, who used to be a defensive back for both the New York Giants and the New York Jets. Well, he comes from good stock. Time's running out. That's going to be a sack. It's a loose football. The clock has hit zeros, and the half will end. Dunstan Anderson coming up large on the final play of the half. Anderson, who has spent time with 7 NFL teams and has a Super Bowl ring with the Cowboys, shows you why.
Right here, no one blocks him. That's why he's got to clear back the quarterback, Ron Lopez, and he just flies in, strips him of the ball, and he gets the sack on the play. But when no one blocks you out there, that's fresh meat. Dunstan Anderson didn't waste any time.
So we are at halftime with Oklahoma leading 21-10. Hope you folks can stick around. We may not have dancing or yelling, but we will have Jill Arrington. That's a whole lot better coming up at the half.
Our ad agency told me if you want to sell your wraps, Tony, put kids in your commercials. I told them oven-roasted deli turkey and guacamole in a spinach tortilla was enough. But what do I know? I'm just a simple sandwich man. How's that, Tony?
Simply Blimpie for hand-rolled wraps.
Twix. It's all in the mix. Creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, caramel, crunchy, cookie, cookie, crunchy, chewy, creamy, caramel, chocolate, chewy, cookie, crunchy, creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, chewy, caramel, cookie, cookie, crunchy. Creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, caramel, crunchy, cookie, cookie, crunchy, chewy, creamy, caramel, chocolate, chewy, cookie, crunchy, creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, caramel, crunchy, cookie, cookie, crunchy, chewy, creamy, caramel, chocolate, chewy, cookie, crunchy, creamy, creamy, chocolate, chewy, caramel, crunchy, cookie, cookie. It's all in the mix.
Welcome to the Degree Halftime Report. We're in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where the score at halftime, Oklahoma leads Grand Rapids 21-10. Well, as we head into the last weekend of the 2000 season, there's still one division to be decided. That's the Western Division, and that depends on the outcome of 2 games. That's Arizona at Iowa and Buffalo at San Jose. Saturday night is the Buffalo-San Jose matchup. It's one of the most intriguing games this weekend. These teams have combined to win 15 consecutive games. Can Ray Bentley's crew knock Steve Pappen and company from the top spot in the playoffs? We'll find out Friday at 10:30. Saturday at 8, Arizona travels to the Barn to face the high-powered Iowa offense. The Barnstormers are coming off a 77-point effort against Albany. Meanwhile, Danny White's team needs to win if they have any hope left of becoming the top seed in the playoffs. Sunday, we have a rematch of last year's Arena Bowl when Orlando heads to Albany. Both teams have stumbled down the stretch and could use a win to boost their confidence heading into the playoffs. In other games this weekend, Friday night, Tampa Bay tries to stay healthy when they play Carolina. Milwaukee will try to finish the season with 4 consecutive wins when they host Houston. And on Saturday, Florida plays New Jersey in a battle for which team gets to end a tough season on a positive note. Join us this Sunday at 3 on TNN as we head to Albany for a rematch of last year's Arena Bowl. Orlando head coach Jay Gruden's trying to fine-tune his team as they try to make another successful playoff run. This week, the Predators head north to battle Mike Pawlowski and the rest of the Eastern Division champion Albany Firebirds. That's Orlando at Albany in a special time slot, 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon here on TNN. When the Degree halftime report continues, we'll be back to take a closer look at Brian Goins. The Grand Rapids kicker is just a rookie, but it hasn't taken him long to learn just how hard it can be to kick in the AFL. Oklahoma leads by 11 at halftime. The Degree halftime report continues in a moment.
Texas took me by surprise. The wagon train.
The trading posts. The panhandle.
The western swing.
The stagecoach.
We even learned to speak the language. Howdy, partner.
Howdy.
Even the vacations are bigger in Texas, so we'll give you a free Texas State Travel Guide, Accommodations Guide, and Texas Highway Map when you call 1-800-8888-TEX, extension 65, or visit us at TravelTex.com. You'll get the insider's view of Texas, what to see, what to do, where to stay. Free when you call 1-800-8888-TEX, extension 65. So give us a call, y'all. Texas, it's more than you think. It's like a whole other country.
I don't know, it's just so...
We're not sure about the whole flame thing. The flames are a safety feature.
Scenario. Let's say you're about to pump out that Bambino. Honk. You're on your way to the hospital?
Bam. You get stuck in traffic. The flames intimidate the other cars.
Right out of the way.
Plus, it's a major chick magnet.
The ASA AC Delco Series, Saturday at 9 Eastern on TNN.
You think I'm trying to burn you here?
30 minutes left to play in this one. The score at the half is 21-10. But the Arena Football League is known for its offense. Scores look more like basketball than football, which is good for some, but tougher on others. We've all heard over and over again about the rise of Kurt Warner through the AFL to stardom. A league with explosive offenses is sure to develop stars at quarterback and receiver. But for kickers, this league can be tough.
It is a fast game, and you do score a ton of points, and you get a lot of extra points, which aren't that easy. You know, I mean, I've missed a few of those, and that's, yeah. The one thing about this league is your bad kicks don't go in.
Kickers at any level of football are maligned and ignored. That is until the game is on the line. Grand Rapids' Brian Goins knows this as well as anyone. Moving into the AFL this season has shown Goins how much harder the indoor game can be on a kicker.
The uprights are pretty close together. That's what makes it tough. I mean, obviously you have a shorter field, so you don't end up, you know, with tremendously long kicks all the time, even though we can't kick out of our own end zones. But those 9 foot wide is, you know, less than half as wide as they have in the NFL. So it's tough to put it through there.
It is harder, but it isn't entirely a bad thing. That is, if you're trying to get into the NFL.
The biggest things I hope to gain from being in the NFL is increased accuracy and being able to display the increased accuracy, because, you know, I've been on a couple of NFL tryouts, and once you go back to seeing those 18.5 foot wide deals, I mean, those things look huge.
Goins has adjusted to the AFL well. He leads the league in field goal accuracy and ranks near the top in scoring. After being in camp with the Lions and spending time with the Bears last season, kicking for the Rampage is just another step to a permanent job in the NFL.
Coming out of college, I was realistically on kind of a 3-year plan. But I'm a little bit ahead of schedule because I did play in some actual real season games with the Bears. So, you know, this is all part of the plan. I realize it's kind of a long process to break in, but, you know, hopefully this is opening some doors for me with me doing well.
When we come back to the Degree halftime report, Eli and Mark will recap the first half with highlights and stats, so stick around for more Rampage and Wranglers.
In clinical studies, a leading pain medicine significantly reduced minor arthritis pain, increasing range of motion and flexibility. You may be surprised, The medicine in these studies wasn't a pill. It was Bengay. And now, when you use ultra-strength Bengay for your aches and pains, you get the heating power of 3 pain relievers to help you feel better and move better. Ultra-strength Bengay, medicine for your moving parts.
We perform in Cabaret. I'm Rosie. I'm Lulu. And I'm anyone you want me to be. It's hot. This show is very sexy. Cabaret is a hot show. Live theater. Anything can happen. No predictability. Well, they asked us to try this Degree Invisible Solid Body Heat Activated. Your body temperature goes up, it goes down, it goes up and down, and Degree stuck with me. I loved it. No white marks, nothing. So they're looking at me and my flawless performance. We need this. Degree Invisible Solid. Slick und clean und clear. Yes.
The city of St. Louis, home of the Arch, the Blues, and when the Bush Boys come to town, bet sheet metal. It's the CarQuest Auto Parts 250, July 29th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on TNN.
Do what you do so well. This is Kidman's day.
You can't lose.
Exclusive interview.
When you're as good as me,
Kidman.
you stand alone at the top.
New footage.
The future of sports entertainment. Billy Kidman is more of a man than you can ever handle.
Dance with the future.
This kid don't play.
Billy Kidman, only on pay-per-view.
Last year, 193 games in the majors were decided by one run. One play, one pitch, one foot made all the difference. This year, it's happening all over again. And MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV Sports brings you these crucial moments. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS today and catch the stretch run of the 2000 regular season for just 4 payments of $27.25. Is your team destined to win the close ones? Find out with MLB Extra Innings.
Halftime here at the Myriad in Oklahoma City. The homestanding Wranglers need to win and then get some help from elsewhere to try and grab a home playoff game next week. And so far, they're doing what they have to do. Welcome back to Oklahoma City. Eli Gold, Mark May. It's not been a scientifically accurate first half, to say the very least. It's not been pretty. There have been a lot of penalties. But the bottom line is Oklahoma and Grand Rapids both still trying to work in a lot of new players.
And particularly at the quarterback position, both quarterbacks seem a little bit rusty. But what impresses me most, the Oklahoma defense. That's why they're ranked #1 in the league.
Indeed. So let's check out some of the highlights. Oklahoma was getting all over quarterback Max Nocky of Grand Rapids in the ball game. As a matter of fact, Nocky, you see it right there.
They can give him a chance just burying him into the turf every opportunity that they get.
They did find Kasani Abdul-Salam on a 4-yard run. Then Carlos Johnson. But then Max Nocky hooked up with Reggie Ray.
And it was a deep post pattern, and Reggie Ray just fights the ball away from the defender, takes it away from him for their only touchdown of the evening.
And there you see the first half statistics. Look at those return yards.
And that's what's killer. And the other one that really stands out, the passing yards right there for Oklahoma. Quarterback Ron Lopez, he's been a little rusty, but he's picked it up in the second quarter.
So we have one half of football yet to go. There is Max Nocky. It's going to be interesting as you look at Ron Lopez over on the Oklahoma side. You know, Nocky knows that regardless of what happens tonight, he's going to yield to Craig Cusick when he returns off injuries. There's number 14, Mike Lutz, or Jeff Lutz, excuse me. Jeff is the other quarterback for Oklahoma. Been well traveled this year. Has played in the last couple of ball games, but Lopez was ready and they went back to him.
And Jeff Lutz wasn't sharp in the fourth quarter last week. He's 1-1 as a starter, but here's a team that did not score a point in the fourth quarter last week. And I think head coach Bob Cortese said, hey, I've got to get my leader back there. I've got to get Ron Lopez on the football field. Even though this game's important to us, but we want him right for the playoffs, he's got to get sharp for the playoffs, and that's why he's starting tonight.
Again, a reminder, we'll be with you on Sunday. You're not used to having us come into your living rooms on Sunday here on TNN Sports, except from a racetrack. We'll be coming into your living room Sunday from the Pepsi Arena. That rematch of last year's Arena Bowl. That should be a good one.
That should be very exciting. And both teams, regardless of what happens, they're playing for pride in that game because last year they both met, Arena Bowl. Hey, this is a rematch of it. Doesn't matter where you play your opponent. And as an ex-athlete, I don't care where I play somebody that beat me in a championship game. I want my shot at them. You can put it in the Arctic Circle. You can put it in a desert someplace. I want a chance at those guys one more time.
Ever been to the Arctic Circle?
I really don't want to go either. I'm not one for the cold weather.
You're not a cold weather kind of guy?
I was born in upstate New York, and as you can see, I don't live there at this point.
Aniana, the pride of Aniana, New York, not far from Albany.
About an hour from Albany. That's why I'm looking forward to Sunday night, Sunday afternoon's game.
Is the fan club coming over?
2 or 3 of them. I think there's 4 or 5 in the club. I think 2 or 3 of them are getting in that 1949 Volkswagen or 55 Volkswagen and heading up.
Ricks is the deep man. And he kicks that one past the net directly into the seats. And that is an infraction.
Illegal procedure on the kickers. The kick went out of bounds on a fly. Ball will be put on the 20-yard line. First down.
That and hitting the scoreboard are the 2 most severe penalties you can have in this league. And there is a low 5 that was. That's a nice souvenir.
Little kid in the background, he's not very happy he wanted the ball. The one who was trying in the background, he wasn't a happy camper. He thought he was getting the football.
So Lopez now at quarterback. Carlos Johnson reversing himself in motion. Carlos with the grab, an 8-yard pickup to the 22. In the locker room at halftime, Bob Cortez allowed our cameras in for a look and a listen.
Right? Just right here, so that when he comes off, we're releasing inside. He hits and comes to you. You give him this, he'll come flat, then you can go. If you hit and go, he'll just take that angle, right? It's at a regular height. It's not going to be 90. It's going to be ripped, smash. Not going to say 90.
It was not a very inspirational halftime message. It was basically X's and O's.
And that's the key. There are 2 types of coaches that go into the locker room. And one's a screamer and a yeller to get you motivated and get you fired up. And the other coach wants to teach.
3-yard penalty. Previous spot. Still second down.
Because he's got a mature football team. You can go in there and just say, this is what we did wrong. This is what we did right. This is what we're going to do in the second half. And that's what Bob Cortez does. He wants to teach and show them that this is what we're going to do in the second half to win the game.
That penalty was against the center, Chris Butterfield, who picked the ball up and put it back down. An illegal procedure. That is 3 yards, $15 against Chris Butterfield. Lopez to Johnson, knocked away. Tristan Moss, super play. Oh, and they're throwing the flag. The head linesman throws the handkerchief. Rod Pearson.
Pass interference, and they're going to be looking at his right hand.
We'll take a look when we get a chance.
Pass interference. On a defense, number 23, 8-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
The 8th penalty against that man's team. Michael Trigg can't believe it. He said, my gosh.
And keep an eye at the end of this play. Watch the right hand. Not the left hand will reach over, but the right hand on Tristan Moss right there in his back. See it cradle around him? He's got a hold of him before the ball gets there, and he reaches over with his left hand to knock it away. Not a stellar call, but that's one that can be called because he really didn't do anything except put his hand out, but he touched him and had his hand wrapped around him.
Brian Green in motion. Big rumble, Ron Perry on the screen. Touchdown! They go underneath, set up the screen to Ron Perry. 17 yards. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
And to run a screen, you've got to be a great actor. The offensive line, they're going to act right here. They're going to let the defense go. Give them a push. Let them rush the quarterback. They think they're going to get a sack. But no, right out in the right open, Ron Perry is wide open because all the defenders rush the quarterback, and the defensive secondary drop back with the wide receivers. Wide open is Ron Perry. No one touched him.
Darren Alcoin with the extra point. Chris Butterfield was the man who makes the big block. Number 71 for Oklahoma. Watch him there, left of your screen, clears it out for Ron Perry, touchdown.
Old MacDonald
Nothing brightens your child's day like their favorite songs.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my
Now Time Life Music brings you a new collection. 100 best-loved kid songs for just $24.99.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down.
Imagine owning every one of your children's favorite songs all in one collection.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily.
You'll get all their favorite playtime songs.
I've been working on the railroad all the lane.
All those great sing-along songs.
There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O.
And all of the best loved lullabies.
Rock-a-bye, baby, on the treetop.
100 kid songs on 4 CDs or 4 cassettes for just $24.99.
Here we go, loopy-loo. Here we go, loopy-light. Here we go, loopy-loo. All on the Saturday night. Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. The Muffin Man.
100 kid songs. If you're not completely satisfied, Time Life will refund every penny of your purchase price.
Oh, where has my little dog gone? Oh,
So call now for 100 kid songs.
Incy Wincy Spider went up the water spout.
To order 100 kid songs, call 1-800-422-8855. That's 1-800-422-8855. Or send $24.99 for 4 CDs or 4 cassettes, plus $4.99 shipping and handling to 100 Kid Songs, Department 1, Richmond, Virginia 23280.
There is Ron Lopez giving his Oklahoma team a comfortable lead. He has gotten passes tonight to 7 different receivers. And 3 of those guys, Brian Gouldsby, Carlos Johnson, and Ron Perry, have caught the touchdown passes. So he's spreading it around nicely.
And it keeps your receivers happy, but it keeps the defense off balance. And that's what you want to do as an experienced quarterback. Don't let them know where you're coming from.
Cleveland Pratt is deep, number 3. That's going to be a touchback. Could not come up with a handle on it, and that is a touchback. Hey, by the way, folks, you know, with all the talk during the offseason about the labor concerns in the Arena Football League, in case you didn't see it on Monday, the Arena Football League ownership voted to ratify a new long-term collective bargaining agreement with the Arena Football League Players Organizing Committee. Now, the players must now ratify the agreement, which is a process that ought to take 30 to 60 days. But it was nice to see that first hurdle cleared convincingly on Monday.
It definitely is. And the players have to look at this deal, and they'll probably sign it because it appears to be a fair deal. I've been in labor disputes before and strikes before, and no one wins when you go on strike. And it's smart to sign this. It's a great deal for both sides.
And the fans are going to win also, knowing that their favorite game is going to be around for a while. Flag on the play. The pass sails incomplete. That flag thrown from behind the linebacker. The umpire signals to the referee, and that is going to be number 9. The 9th flag on Grand Rapids.
Illegal procedure on the offense. No tight end declared. Penalty refused. 2nd down.
If you're new to the Arena Football League, when the offensive team breaks the huddle, one of the linemen must put his hand in the air. You see right there, number 58 is doing just that.
Dunstan Anderson, and you have to make it where they can see it. It can't be one of these little flimsy waves down by the way. You've got to stick it out there so it's declared.
And he declares that I am an eligible receiver. I am not just an end, I'm the tight end. Cleveland Pratt. Run out of bounds at the 21-yard line by Mark Ricks. Again, quarterback Max Nocky under attack.
And he gets pretty good protection until the very end. As soon as he throws the football, he gets nailed by Chris Butterfield. But he had good protection early, but he had to wait on the route. But it doesn't matter. Early or late, they're getting in his face, and they're dumping him on the ground.
You know what number 71 for Oklahoma, Chris Butterfield, did?
But
I'll tell you after this play.
You're going to make me wait?
I'll make you wait.
That's not fair.
But I'll do it anyway. I'll tell you about Chris Butterfield in a second. Nocky is going down. That time it was Chuck Reed. Chuck Reed out of UNLV number 10 comes charging in and picks up his 7th sack of the year. That will be the 21st sack of the season for the number 1 defense in the Arena Football League, Chuck Reed.
And Max Nocky didn't have a chance. It comes from the outside, from both sides. He looks to his left. He can't go anyplace. And if Chuck Reed doesn't get him, Tom Briggs is getting him on the other side. The outside has to hold up. Your linemen on the outside have to give your quarterback a chance to step up. And Max Nocky never had a chance to set and step in the pocket.
Left wing back, 50 wing twist, double bench on 1. Ready?
Now, you see, I would have tagged that play call by saying, now somebody block somebody, please.
Somebody. Cut him, hold him. Don't let him hit me. Just once.
Does he get the play off? Yes, barely. No one's home. The wide receiver, Pratt, cut up the middle and to the outside. The ball went up the middle and then sailed way left.
And a lot of that has to do with defensive lineman Tom Briggs. As soon as quarterback Nocky set up in the pocket, Briggs was right down at his ankles and dropped him again. Watch his lower body. Watch his feet. You're going to see 93 come barreling in right there as soon as he throws the football.
Oh, that man, Chris Butterfield?
Yes?
He left his honeymoon. He was on his honeymoon. Left his honeymoon last year to join the AFL team in Portland when they called.
And he's still married.
And he's still married.
Now that's a supportive wife.
I guess. Grand Rapids, 1 of 5 and 3rd down conversions. Flag on the play. Throwing long. Tipped away by Barry Dillard. Tipped away by Dillard. And there are flags on the play.
Not only a flag, but there's a hat out there also.
That's what happens when you have the same official throwing 2 penalties. The referee saw 2 infractions against Grand Rapids. So on the first infraction, he throws the handkerchief. Then when you see another penalty and your hanky's already gone, you throw what's next, and that's what was next, his hat.
And it's a legal procedure. Will be the first one, but the second one will be a personal foul.
We have 2 fouls in a play. They both are going to be declined. Illegal procedure on the offense, no tight end declared. Holding, number 91 on the offense. Again, both will be declared. 4th down.
Man, twice in the same sequence, no one is declaring as the tight end. Michael Trigg looks totally befuddled.
And those are just elementary things, like remembering the snap count. When you leave the huddle, just stick your hand up. One of the 2 guys on either side of the center has to declare that he's the tight end.
Now this is going to be a 53-yard attempt by Brian Goins. He hit a 53-yarder against Houston earlier this season. It's going to draw the other way. No good from 53 yards. Here's a run back. Mark Ricks. He's out across midfield. A 31-yard return on the missed 53-yarder, Mark Ricks. And the Oklahoma Wranglers could be getting ready to put the first of the nails in the Rampage coffin. We're coming back. We'll find out together.
Try this. Call up your auto insurance company and ask them to give you a quote.
And then ask them to give you the prices of their 3 major competitors also.
See what they say.
Progressive wants you to know that 6-month rates can really vary from company to company.
On average, you could be paying $522 more than you have to.
If you're not shopping around, you can be losing a lot of money.
Call Progressive at 1-800-AUTO-PRO or visit us online at progressive.com.
We'll give you our price, and if you'd like, the rates from up to 3 other leading companies.
Even if their prices are lower than ours.
I didn't believe it either, but it's true. I can go online 24 hours a day and compare rates.
We have these things called IRVs, immediate response vehicles.
It's like a mini claims office right there in the car.
So call us right now at 1-800-AUTO-PRO.
If we can't save you money on auto insurance, we'll tell you who can.
Shop and buy at Progressive.com or call 1-800-AUTO-PRO.
ECW Wrestling in the Thrill Zone on TNN. A last-minute save by the network prevents the Sandman from taking the heavyweight title. ECW Tag Team action with Danny Doring and Roadkill. And Cherry Lynn falls to the Far East Terror to cheering. Wrestling like you've never seen. ECW Wrestling, Friday at 8 Eastern, part of Thrill Zone Friday on TNN.
We have had pretzel cam and onion cam and bratwurst cam, and when you're in Oklahoma, you got to have cowboy hat cam. And they are number one defense in the league, and Oklahoma is number one on the scoreboard here tonight. That's Mike Myers, our cameraman down there, bringing us our first non-edible cam of the year.
Uh-oh, Mike, you got to pick it up. You're outdoing yourself. We need some food next week.
Although guys have said I'll eat my hat if that happens, so I guess we could keep it. Here's Ron Lopez. Carlos Johnson completed out of bounds at the 13-yard line.
One thing about Carlos Johnson and Ron Lopez, besides being on the same page, whenever he sees his quarterback drift, he's going to come straight across the field to wherever he's drifting and find an opening to get the football. And that's why he leads the league in reception. He's going to find a way to get the ball. And when you work towards the football and work towards an opening, you're going to catch the ball, and the quarterback's going to throw it to you. You can't stop your route. You have to continue with the quarterback and keep working.
And Milwaukee needs to, Oklahoma needs to keep their offense going, because Milwaukee last week scored the final 14 points in the ball game to give Oklahoma a loss. Nothing there for Carlos Johnson. And the play will lose back to the 15. Murray Garrett, number 97, went laterally with him to get the play. See, Carlos gave him a pat on the hat saying, good job. But yeah, Milwaukee scored the last 14 in the game last week against Oklahoma to give the Wranglers the loss at the Bradley Center. So you can't let down in this game.
Not at all, and particularly a game like this, it's important for them to have a shot at a home field game in the playoffs. They need to win this game tonight, and they realize that. And last week they just let it get away from them. And Coach Bob Cortese said, "Hey, the other team, they just wanted it more than we did."
A big third down play. Carlos is open, and he's showing for the touchdown. He was cutting across. Tristan Moss got lost in the exchange. Touchdown, 14 yards for Oklahoma.
And all it is a corner play. The hat cam comes alive. And all this is a corner route by Carlos. Quarterback Ron Lopez looks at Carlos Johnson. Never takes his eye off anyone else. He is not going to go anyplace. Look at his eyes right there. He's looking at one guy. His wide receiver, Carlos Johnson, gets him the football. Touchdown.
The extra point will be upcoming after they pick up 8 hankies off the field. They're all yellow.
No hats.
No hats. Every official threw his flag, however.
Prior to the snap, approachment, number 97 on the defense, half the distance to the goal line.
Murray Garrett. Murray complained that the center moved the football, and that's why he jumped. But the officials did not see it that way. Extra point good by Darren Alcoin. So now Oklahoma has their lead to 35-10. Watch this now, Mark. Why would Tristan Moss play a man as dangerous as Carlos Johnson, as soft as he is?
Well, he's got a running head start, but once he makes his break, you can't give that cushion away. When you have that separation against a great wide receiver, you've got to get closer to him. And Tristan Moss needs to break. As soon as Carlos Johnson makes his move and drops his weight, he's got to explode to the football, because he knows 9 times out of 10, Carlos is getting the football.
It was 3 plays on the scoring drive, 22 yards in 2 minutes and 24 seconds. You know something for Grand Rapids? Just 2 games ago, they scored 19 points. Now they've only got 10. There's Cleveland Pratt, who will be the deep man here on this kickoff. He has not had a spectacular night. Kind of mixed results.
And they have been mixed. He's fumbled a couple, dropped a couple, and he's returned a couple of big ones. Right here, he just can't find the handle of the ball, and it goes over his head. And that's concentration. He bobbles this one also. And that's concentration on the football, as I said. But here's a big return. Getting to the outside, picking up blockers, and making a play and showing the speed. And, he just has to be more consistent at what he's doing to help his team.
Out of Edinburgh College. Cleanly off the net that time. But nothing more than the 7-yard line. Big stop by Andrew Mitchell. Now, in the last possession alone, not the whole game, the last possession alone, here's what that man endured. Max Nockey, the quarterback for Grand Rapids. Last possession.
Max Nockey must have been a little cheap this week. For offensive linemen, usually if you come off a win as he did last week, you buy the offensive line dinner. Apparently, he didn't pick the guys up dinner up front, and he's paying for it today. But it's a situation where, one, you've got to protect up front, but two, he's got to get rid of the football on his third step or his fifth step, whatever the drop calls for, get rid of the ball.
Demo Odoms intercepted. Intercepted, touchdown. Mark Ricks stepping in front of Demo Odoms. Picks it off, 19 yards, touchdown. His 5th interception of the year.
And Eli, a lot of this has to do with what we talked about, pressure on the quarterback. He just wants to get rid of it. He gets rid of it too early. He just lets it hang out there. Mark Ricks breaks on the ball, a clean interception. Bad throw by quarterback Max Nockey. He just wanted to get rid of the football. He was afraid of getting hit.
He only looked at one receiver, Demo Odoms. He looked nowhere else. Didn't try to look the defense off the play. It cost him. If you're a lip reader, you know what he's feeling. If you're not a lip reader, make it up for yourself at home.
Coming soon from 3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up's right next. Ready or not, here I come.
The most intense 4-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
This summer, KFC's got a whole new reason to roll up your sleeves, forget the fork, and use all 10 fingers. New honey barbecue strips from KFC. Tender strips of all white meat chicken positively drenched with the Colonel's own sweet and tangy honey barbecue sauce. Technique doesn't matter here. Taste does. Dig in now. 3 honey barbecue strips with 1 side and a fluffy biscuit, just $2.99. Only at KFC.
Pony, let the spinning wheel spin.
Blood, sweat, and tears, and America. Classic rock, the hits. Tuesday at 10 Eastern and Pacific on TNN.
Well, the hits just keep on coming on Max Nockey. That interception picked by Mark Ricks. Run back, and now it's a 32-point lead. Hey, folks, the NASCAR Busch Series drivers are in action next weekend right here on TNN. They'll be all trying to catch the point leader, Jeff Green. The race from Gateway International Raceway, a beautiful facility just outside of St. Louis. The CarQuest 250 live under the lights. That is Saturday, a week from this Saturday, July 29th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on TNN Sports. Cleveland Pratt is again deep. All right, so when do you go to John Fitzgerald, the next quarterback? Has Max had enough?
I think he'll send Max in for 1 more series, maybe 2, and we'll probably see Fitzgerald in the 4th quarter.
Here's Pratt. Good acceleration, but a great job by number 98, Eric Drakes, to slow him down.
Formation back, 50 stack wide bench post.
Let's go. Let's go. Left, Y motion back. 50 stack, Y bench post. On 1. Ready?
They want to go for the long pass, the post pattern. If he gets protection, that's where he's going to look to throw the ball.
Go!
Looking long. He's got a man, but Demo Odoms. Demo was wide open, but he overthrew him. Now, let's ask the next question here, and certainly we're not piling on to Max Nocky, but when do the other guys in the huddle start saying to themselves, well, this isn't working, and let's just go home?
On about another series, I think it is, because here's an opportunity for one, this young quarterback, Max Nocky, to at least gain experience. And you want it to be a positive experience for him, and it just hasn't been.
Look at those numbers right there. 4 TDs for Lopez, which is not even a lot in Arena Football League parlance.
Not at all, but at least you want your quarterback to be 50-55% completion rate, and you're not getting that from Max Nocky.
Max intercepted again. Abdul Salam. Abdul Salam, touchdown. 28 yards on the return. Michael Trigg wants to be anywhere right now but the Myriad in Oklahoma City. Kusani Abdul Salam, his first pick of the year, and it was a biggie.
And it was a poorly thrown pass, thrown behind his wide receiver, Demo Odoms. But at the end of the play, I want you to watch Murray Garrett. He's given up over here. Keep an eye right there. He's not even trying to make the tackle at that point. And here's a situation that Eli hit before. When is it a point where guys in the huddle start looking around for another quarterback to go in there? I think it's very soon.
And again, the extra point. And one more time. Again, it didn't look to me as though Nocky looked anywhere other than the intended receiver, Demo Odoms.
And you're absolutely right. And that's what happens with an inexperienced quarterback. Particularly in this league, you've got to get rid of the football. His head is right on his wide receiver, reading him all the way. And it's a poorly thrown pass, and the defense is all over the wide receiver. He should go to another out in that, but he didn't look anyone off, and that's the problem with young quarterbacks. You need to look to your second and third receiver when your first one's covered. But here's the key. He felt the pressure of the defensive rush. When you feel your jerseys of your offensive lineman in your face and you've been knocked around enough, you want to get rid of the football because you don't want to get hit again.
Now, here's one of the weirdest stats of the night. 2 minutes and 4 seconds. 2:04. Oklahoma has scored 14 points with not a single offensive play.
Ooh. That's great defense. And we talked about their defense all evening long, the #1 defense in the league. They put pressure on the quarterback. They stuff the run. They get your offense to turn the ball over on downs. But when you pressure the quarterback, good things happen. That gives your defensive backs time to break on the ball in the secondary to make big plays and interception. And Oklahoma has the total package rolling tonight.
So Oklahoma now with 49 points. 8 times in the last 9 games, they had failed to score at least 50. Well, they're right there now, knocking on 50's door. Again, Cleveland Pratt is the deep man to field the kick by Darren Alcorn. Here's Pratt. Maybe he'll run it back to get some points. Maybe he won't. Shoved out of bounds by the Oklahoma Wranglers.
Cleveland Pratt, he's either feast or famine. When he gets that ball in a return, it's either a big play or it's a muff return effort.
So they're staying with Max Nocky. He was the Southwest Conference Offensive Player of the Year in 1994 when he quarterbacked for TCU. 2 years with Dallas in reserve roles and at camp. He's got talent. Oh my goodness! It was deflected and nearly intercepted again. This is getting to be an adventure now.
It is getting to be ugly for quarterback Max Nocky. He needs something to happen in the positive role for his football team offensively. They've got great field position. It's time to take advantage of it. But when you're sitting back in the pocket, you want to get rid of the football. But it's a good play by the defense. Not even getting to push, just sticking your hands up. If you're a defensive lineman and you can't get to the quarterback, Andrew Mitchell does the right thing. He sticks his hands up in the air if you can't get close to the quarterback and knock it down. Wow, 1 for 8 just this half, but this is the killer, the interceptions.
1 of 8, 16 yards.
I think you hit it in the open. Who wants to play quarterback tonight?
Yeah. out in the front row. He was trying to find Demo Odoms behind the defense of Mark Ricks. But Adrian Jarrell, I believe, got a hand on that one. If it's not the lineman Mitchell, it's that man defending Ricks, or it's Adrian Jarrell. Grand Rapids now looking at a third down play. They're 1 of 6 in third down conversions.
And that's not executing your offense. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what head coach Michael Trigg is doing, but if he's trying to teach Max Nocky a lesson about playing in the big leagues, this is a lesson to be learned. He's not operating out there. Nobody's been able to contribute offensively. He's just letting them into the rot. Something positive has to happen for this quarterback soon.
What's going to happen is Craig Cusick will return to quarterback next week for the playoffs after injuries. Nocky's going to run, and he fumbles the football. Oh my goodness, Oklahoma recovers. It was Brian Goolsby who knocked it loose, and Andrew Mitchell who recovered it. You know, it almost looked like he pitched the ball at the end. I'm sure he didn't. His arm was just hit by Goolsby.
It's another good pass rush, but quarterbacks have to learn when you scramble, the defenses are so fast and the catch-up speed is so quick, you have to run straight ahead and get down on the ground. You cannot run laterally because the defense, the pursuit will catch up to you, particularly Oklahoma. And the turnovers are just killing them. Right there, Oklahoma. No turnovers, Grand Rapids 4. The points off turnovers 21 for Oklahoma. They're just taking advantage of great opportunities.
Now a new quarterback, Jeff Lutz, is in. And there'll be a flag on the play. That often happens when a new quarterback comes in. And remember, there'll be some more money going into that kitty.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, number 97, 3-yard penalty, still first down.
Oh, that flag against Grand Rapids, so there'll be no monies added in. Jeff Lutz out of Southwest State of Minnesota. There you see his numbers on the year. Well-traveled, Jeff Lutz is. Has time. That one is tipped and nearly intercepted. Nearly picked off by Reggie Ray. Jeff Lutz, the quarterback for Oklahoma now, began his Arena Football League career with Milwaukee. He's played in Iowa, played with Minnesota, Arizona, couple of years with Albany. From Southwest State of Minnesota.
And you have to admire his determination to play. The guys will travel around just to get an opportunity to play, and you try to take advantage of each opportunity that you get, but you have to admire his determination to continue to want to play football.
Twice an All-America in NAIA competition as he unloads to the near side as the quarter's going to end on that screen pass by Jeff Lutz to Brian Green. So 3 quarters are complete. It is not pretty on the scoreboard unless you're pulling for the team in maroon. They love it. They're dancing. They're celebrating. They're up by 39. Yep. He had a full head of dark hair when the season began. Michael Trigg, nice guy, classy guy. But things are just not going well tonight for his Grand Rapids Rampage. Jeff Lutz, who began the year at Carolina, now quarterbacking Oklahoma. Lutz, long, Carlos. Does he make the grab? No, it's intercepted, going the other way. Tristan Moss. Tristan Moss comes up with the football, intercepted for Grand Rapids.
And Tristan Moss is smart. Now he finally breaks on the ball. Great protection by the front of Oklahoma. They give Jeff Lutz good protection to throw the ball, but right at the very end, Tristan Moss goes in front, makes the interception. Smart play. Instead of playing off and giving separation, now he's playing closer to Carlos Johnson. And when the ball's thrown, he's breaking in front of him instead of waiting until he catches the ball and making the tackle.
So now it's time for Grand Rapids to go back to the offense. We have a full quarter of football remaining. Grand Rapids not a single touchdown in 5 possessions this half. Nocky remains in. A center screen nearly dropped and is dropped after nearly being picked off by Bobby McGowan. And had that been an interception, it would have fit right into a turnover-laden game by Grand Rapids.
And Max Nocky, it's just a poor throw. He's looking at his wide receiver all the way down. Here's another one that's thrown behind his wide receiver, Demo Odoms. It's picked off by Oklahoma. And the next play is another turnover by Grand Rapids, and it's a fumble by Max Nocky. Protect the football when you run with it. At all times, you always protect the football as a quarterback, and in those 3 instances, he did not protect the football.
Listen to this stat from Brian Roberts, our statistician. Grand Rapids this half, 11 plays, 8 yards. Looking long, off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Reggie Ray. Barry Dillard was the man in deep coverage for Oklahoma.
One thing that head coach Michael Trigg told us before the game is, hey, we've got wide receivers to go deep. The question is, do we have a quarterback to get them the football? Well, tonight they haven't been able to get the football to their wide receivers.
You know what this building here in Oklahoma has in common with East 22nd Street in Brooklyn, New York?
No.
I once quarterbacked a team on East 22nd Street that had 11 plays, 8 yards in a single half.
Ooh, so you've got something in common with Max.
It's not working. And Max is a good quarterback.
He is.
This is a good, solid team. It's just not working. Bad pass again. Hassan Shamsuddin was the intended receiver. And there's Max again, just being
He's getting pummeled.
Picked up by Ethan Banning.
Got the blood on the elbow right there, his throwing arm, and he's just been getting pummeled the entire evening. And yeah, it's not funny to look at a player like this to get knocked around like that, but he needs help out there. That's Tom Briggs down again.
Tom had that concussion last week, banged up earlier in the ball game.
Looks like he got the wind knocked out of him. Usually when they pull the pads up like that, that's when you get the wind knocked out of him.
He made a bid for Arena Football League Lineman of the Year honors last year. Tom's that good.
And not only that, he's a tough guy. Coming off a concussion playing the next week. He gets knocked around tonight and still wants to be out there playing.
Poor old Max Nocky. Watch this again.
As soon as he sets, he wants to throw the ball, and he steps up to throw the ball, but he gets hammered by Chuck Reed.
In the last 13 plays, Grand Rapids has had 8 incomplete passes. They've been sacked once. There was a missed field goal, 1 fumble, and 2 interceptions.
I can tell you what Max Nocky had going through his mind laying there on the ground. Why me?
Yeah.
And it's tough because he's not getting protection up front, and it's the entire offense. Wide receivers aren't breaking at the right time, and it's a combination of everything offensively. And you point to Max Nocky because he's a quarterback, but it's everyone.
Now Brian Goins is in to attempt a field goal from somewhere near Tulsa. This will be a 65-yard attempt. The fans are saying, hang in there, Max.
He's just looking for a friend when he goes to the sidelines. None of his teammates are talking to him. He wants somebody to give him a little pumping up there.
The AFL record for a field goal is Aaron Mills. Had a 63-yarder for San Jose in 1996. This will be officially a 64-yarder.
Ready?
There's no way they're going to do that, kind of like an AFL version of a punt. There's a flag down. The ball is taken by Carlos Johnson. From midfield, Carlos. You knew that with only 2 yards to run up to try and kick the ball, there was no significant chance of converting a 64-yarder. And that was kind of like an AFL version of a punt. Had it been recovered by Grand Rapids, it would have been their ball.
You have to take your hats off to Oklahoma. Return team, special teams, defense, they've been on top of everything tonight.
Now, we saw a play like this in Milwaukee when Riley caught the ball and they retained possession. Let's see what our referee, Jim LaPatina, tells us.
There is no flag on the play. There was no contact with the receiver by the kicker. First down.
Oh, no interference on the play. And the football belongs to the Oklahoma Wranglers. This will be far and away the fewest points that Grand Rapids has scored this year, if they don't add any more to it. Grand Rapids scored 19 at Iowa a couple of games ago and came back with 62 against Houston. Tonight, they're being held to 10.
Hi, I'm Tony Conda. Our ad agency told me if you want to sell your wraps, Tony, put kids in your commercials. I told them oven roasted deli turkey and guacamole in a spinach tortilla was enough. But what do I know? I'm just a simple sandwich man. How was that, Tony?
Simply Blimpie for hand-rolled wraps.
Tom Green here at Muscle Beach with some big, tough weightlifters. We're going to show how new Right Guard Extreme Sport works even under the most extreme conditions.
Stop!
Run! Oh no, the kid's going to get you! He got you! Look! Extreme protection against odor and wetness. Goes on clear and it doesn't quit.
New Right Guard Extreme Sport. Get extreme. Get Right Guard.
Ouch.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Myriad in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Jill Arrington is downstairs. Jill, where are you?
Well, I'm down here with several beautiful and talented ladies. They're the Oklahoma cheerleaders, and they're not the only ones that work hard on the field, those players. These girls work hard, too. Tell me about your schedule every week to come to these games.
We practice about 5 hours a week. Wednesdays and Sundays are the times we're keeping now.
Wow, that's a lot. Do you guys get paid to do this, or do you come out here because you love the game?
A little bit of both. We are paid a minimal amount, but mostly because we love to dance and we love to get the crowd going.
Well, I see you guys out there on the field, and that can be pretty scary. I've seen these hits. Do you guys ever get injured? Have there been any close calls?
There's been a few injuries, but we've made it out when the football is coming, so it's fun.
You have to keep your eyes on the game. Well, these are some great cheerleaders. Back to you, Eli.
Thanks, Jill. Well, that pass was off the back of the defensive back, Anthony Phillips.
Eli, I wonder if they miss a step. Do they get fined by Bob Cortez?
I don't know. We'll have to ask.
One step to the left, that's $1 fine. 2 steps to the right, that's $2.
Those ladies don't make many mistakes. I have been watching them from a distance this evening. For medicinal purposes only, you understand. And I have not found any missteps at all. $11 minutes to go in the ball game. Bring out those hankies.
Corey Mayfield got the jump.
Number 91 in white. And you can't hide when you're 6'3", 305.
Encroachment. Defense, number 91. 3-yard penalty. Still second down.
He was on the all-rookie team a year ago. He was on the injured reserve list when he was with the San Francisco 49ers. Played in NFL Europe, did Corey Mayfield.
With a couple of NFL teams, actually, besides the 49ers, he played Tampa Bay, Jacksonville. He was in their training camps.
Carlos Johnson in motion, flags on the play. Everybody else was in motion, too. There are certain things you can do. That would have been legal in the Canadian Football League, but not here in the AFL.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 87, 3-yard penalty, still second down.
You cannot have extra guys in motion, and Fernell Hankton contributes $15 to the cause.
I wonder what the tally is now.
See, that's what the coach is doing. Bob Cortez said, it gets on that radio, $15. That'll be the 7th flag against Oklahoma, but again, they are penalized by yardage, $5. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Andrew Mitchell caught that one actually on the back is what happened. That one was off his own man. Let's go to the tote board. I feel like Dennis James at the telethon. $205.
I'm getting closer to my number. My number was 250. I'm getting close.
You are getting close.
Lots of time left.
We got time, 10 minutes. You're a sick human, you know that?
Have to be. Too many head slaps to the head.
3 of 5 and third downs, Oklahoma. Timing pattern. No. Is there a hanky? Of course there is. Of course there is. Because Bobby McGowan's number 18 was interfered with. Anthony Phillips says, no, I didn't do it. But everybody in the building knows that he did.
Did not give him an opportunity to catch the ball.
Anthony Phillips out of Texas A&M Kingsville.
Pass interference on a defense number 8. 8-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That is the 11th flag for a loss of 47 yards against Grand Rapids.
Anthony Phillips just turns and smothers him and hits him with a left elbow as he does a pirouette. I'll tell you the difference between Texas A&M and Texas A&M Kingsville. Now, this is when I did an interview with a Texas A&M Kingsville player.
Okay.
If you want to go to a bowl game, you go to Texas A&M. If you want to go play professional football, you go to Texas A&M Kingsville.
Interesting answer.
Good job, my ball.
Ron Perry. That is he in that maroon number 5 jersey. Just now getting up.
He's getting up a little slow. And he is a big human being for a fullback. 285 pounds.
He is a native of Oklahoma City, Ron Perry is. Went to Grambling to play for the legendary Eddie Robinson, who to this day still might be the best interview subject I ever had the pleasure of sitting down with, and I've been lucky to interview some interesting folks. Eddie Robinson just had me spellbound when we talked. We did almost an hour and a half one day, and the man was something special, and that's what the folks at Grambling, that's why they go there. Ron Perry being tended to, so we're going to break away and take care of a little business right here while the big guy writes himself. Those fans comfortable. Their team's up big.
Hungry for seafood? When your hunger strikes, there's only one thing to do. Head to Red Lobster for lobster and shrimp. Sweet, succulent lobster together with mouth-watering shrimp. Just $12.99 right now at Red Lobster. So hurry in and get it before it's gone.
Coming soon from 3DO.
Okay, boys. Last one up's running. Ready or not, here I come.
The most intense 4-player chopper game, Army Men Air Combat for Nintendo 64 game console, rated T for Teen. Army Men Air Combat. Good to go.
I don't know, it's just so...
We're not sure about the whole flame thing.
The flames intimidate the other cars right out of the way. Plus, it's a major chick magnet.
The ASA AC Delco Series on TNN. Welcome back to the Myriad in Oklahoma City, where the Oklahoma Wranglers are up large. And you see that 10-point total for Grand Rapids. If that doesn't change, that'll be the fewest points scored in the league by a team this year. Houston scored 14 against San Jose when the SaberCats won 54-14. But there's still time for the Rampage to score. Flag on the play. Lutz, the quarterback, throws off balance. It is off the mark, incomplete. Bobby McGowan's on the crossing pattern, but again, Lutz threw off balance. And there come $15 more if that penalty is accepted.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. It's just like a cash register every time there's a penalty.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with what we're doing, there's a penalty fine system for Oklahoma.
Illegal formation on the offense. The tight end was covered by the wide receiver. Penalty refused. 4th down.
Penalty was refused.
But I wonder if he still makes them pay the penalty for the mistake.
I don't know. Here's a 25-yard field goal attempt by Darren Alcorn. He is perfect from this range. He is 2 of 2 this year. Lopez is the holder, and he's perfect 3 of 3 as he clears everything that time. So a 25-yard field goal by Darren Alcorn. And now the margin of the lead is 42.
Tom Green here at Muscle Beach with some big, tough weightlifters. We're going to show how new right guard extreme sport works even under the most extreme conditions.
Back, stop.
Run! Oh no, the kid is going to get you! He got ya! Look! Extreme protection against odor and wetness. Goes on clear and it doesn't quit.
New right guard extreme sport. Get extreme. Get right guard.
Ouch.
Boom! Stop dead in his tracks. That's how fast Tough Actin Tenactin pump spray works.
Tenactin stops the itching and burning of athlete's foot better than Lamisil AT.
Tackle athlete's foot symptoms in seconds with Tough Actin Tenactin.
Two identical brushes, yet one works better. The secret behind this brush? Plaques. It pre-loosens plaque before you brush, so your brush can brush better. For cleaner teeth, fresher breath. Plaques. It's what's behind a better brush.
Okay, guys, hey. What do you guys want to do?
Ask the guy with the big hand. He was right last time.
Try the double reverse option pass. You can't miss.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I tell you, hey. Let's ask my wife. Hey, baby.
Did you guys make a good decision?
Hey, easy. My kid is right there.
Close, real close. Orlando and Albany, Sunday at 3 Eastern on TNN.
Little YMCA music blaring from the speakers here at the Myriad. Many of the fans in this good crowd have now departed. There's Dunstan Anderson, put on his glasses because he couldn't believe what he was seeing without them. His team's down by 42. Cleveland Pratt, flag on the play. Another flag on the play. Separate incidents. Pratt is out to the 19-yard line. There was one clip or a block behind the back at around the 2 and another at around the 15-yard line. There's the one at the 2-yard line.
Illegal block in the back. On the receivers, number 23. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
That was Tristan Moss. Watch the left top of your screen.
Right in this area. And when it rains, it pours for this team. Nothing can go right. The coverage man is by him. He pushes him right in the back, as you saw right there. And that's the infraction.
And Max Nocky remains in the ball game. So we will not see the man we had expected, John Fitzgerald. Guess you might as well just finish it out the way the thing is. His hand is hit as he gets set to throw. Hey, football fans, if you love music and you love hamburgers, then Wendy's and TNN want to make you famous. Just log on to www.sizzlinsounds.com. You can enter a songwriting contest that could put you on national television and win you some great prizes. You can visit your local Wendy's restaurant for rules and entry forms, or log on to sizzlinsounds.com. That's a chance at stardom from Wendy's and TNN. 10 consecutive incomplete passes by Max Nocky. Make it 11 as it's knocked out of midair by Adrian Jarrell. 11 consecutive incomplete passes. I don't know if they keep such stats in the AFL, but that's got to be a record.
It is, and Max Nocky's gotten to a point right now where he's just trying to throw the ball, and hopefully somebody's going to catch it. He's throwing it in range where the defense can bat it down. And anything that you can imagine that could go bad for an offense and a quarterback has happened to Max Nocky this evening.
You know, Oklahoma has allowed only 10 points tonight. I got to keep saying that because that's bizarre in this league. It doesn't happen in this league. Oh my! Fernell Hankton had it and dropped it. It would have been a touchdown. It would have been a touchdown. They were setting up a screen, and Fernell Hankton had it and dropped it. It would have been a touchdown. He didn't expect the ball.
And Eli, it's time. Right here, your quarterback doesn't even look it off. He's got to look to his left before he throws the ball and drops it off on a little dump pass. When you turn as a quarterback and look, the first thing you do is look. If there's opposite color jerseys, you pull the ball down and throw it away or throw it long. But you don't just turn and throw the football.
Here's another 64-yard field goal attempt by Brian Goins. Or again, a punt attempt, if you will, a pooch kick. There are no punts in this league. And he's going to go for it. He's way wide and short. It's run back by Oklahoma. And out across the 15, Mark Ricks to the 17-yard line. Well, we're going into the record book now, folks, since Oklahoma has only given up 10 points tonight. The fewest points that organization has ever allowed. They started in Memphis, Tennessee, then they went to Portland, now to Oklahoma. They allowed 22 points twice. When Portland beat Grand Rapids 45-22, and when Oklahoma played at Florida and won 47-22. So they could set a total organizational franchise record tonight. Flag on the play. Pass is nearly intercepted. Now, it was a jump by Buster Stanley. The question is, was he drawn off sides? We'll find out from our referee. Nope, it was Buster all himself. Number 60 out of the University of Michigan.
Offside, defense, number 60, 3-yard penalty, still first down.
And Eli, looking at this team, and you look at both teams, and first you look at Grand Rapids, Mike Trick can't be happy with his team. Coming into this game, you know, going into the playoffs, you expect your team to play better. You expect them to be coached better. You expect them to act better. No matter what the score is, you go out there and you're professional, you play that way. On the other side of the coin, Bob Cortese has to be extremely ecstatic about his defense. They were number one coming into this game, but they've been dominant throughout.
Oh, I mean, dominant isn't even the word. I mean, they've been devastatingly good. That penalty on Grand Rapids, they're 13th for 51 yards. Here comes the blitz. There are flags on the play. There's a surprise. Again, you've got the number 1 and number 4 most penalized teams in the Arena Football League going at it tonight. Illegal defense against Grand Rapids. That'll be their 14th penalty of the night.
Illegal defense, number 36, outside rush, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic. First down.
And you heard me say, here comes the outside blitz, and you can't do that in the Arena Football League.
You can't do that. As a linebacker, you've got to blitz in either A gap, either side of the center. You cannot get outside the defensive lineman. You have to go in between the gaps. And right now, this team is just falling apart. And you hate to see this happen, particularly a playoff team. They need to regroup. And you've got to get some leaders out there on either side of the ball. Just say, hey, let's finish this thing up right. Do it as a professional. Let's go out here. Let's just play tough defense and good offense and just finish this game.
Grand Rapids once lost a game 80-36 back in 1998. Here's a souvenir. 5 rows up. Jeff Lutz says here. Take it. Yeah, Grand Rapids lost 80-36 to Houston back on June the 12th of 1998. The record for the largest margin of defeat in a road game for Grand Rapids was 33 at Iowa earlier this year. They're down by 42 right now. Again, our statisticians singly and collectively are going through the Grand Rapids and Oklahoma media guides to come up with some of these obscure stats. But quite honestly, I wish we didn't have to pass along to you. Lutz, touchdown, Kassetti, Abdul Salam, 25 yards. And he didn't even have to break stride. He went past the defender, number 10, Demo Odoms, and watch it, he hit him right in stride.
And it's a great play by the offensive quarterback, Jeff Lutz, but on the outside, Abdul Salam. He's going to make a break to the outside. Right here, he plants outside, gets the defender to bite on it. Then he goes back inside for the deep post pattern, and it's a touchdown. The ball is played perfect by Jeff Lutz. Good protection, tremendous route, catch, throw, touchdown.
Now the extra point. Darren Alcorn. adds yet another. You know, it's great to see Alcorn coming back after struggling last week. Remember, he missed 4 of 6 field goals, missed an extra point, and he has come back. That was a 2-play drive, 33 yards in 2 minutes and 31 seconds, and Oklahoma's lead now is 59-10. Mark, let's talk in all seriousness now. You're going into the playoffs, both of these teams are, but Grand Rapids is going to go in off one of the most devastating losses in organizational history, granted without 6 significant regular contributors, 4 or 5 of whom will come back next week. But what does this do to a psyche of a team, or do they just have a couple of barley pops on the way home, laugh it off and say that's football and they're okay for next week?
Well, as an athlete and a competitor, you never laugh off getting your butt whipped on national television. That's one thing you can't forget about. Here's the other key. Here's a team that's just reeling off of this loss going into the playoffs. Michael Trigg has to come back and say, hey, guys, throw this game out the window. Forget about it. We're starting a new season when the playoffs start. This is one of those games that things didn't go well for us. We had a lot of injuries. Our starting quarterback has been injured. Hey, this is one of those games you forget about. Let's clean the slate. Let's find out who we're going to play after this weekend, and let's hone in on our next opponent.
There's Cleveland Pratt. And Darren Alcorn. We are live at the Myriad in Oklahoma City. Here's Pratt to run it back. Ooh. Nice dance and moves out to the 20-yard line. Let's go downstairs, Jill. Let's talk about our superstar spotlight of the night.
Well, Carlos Johnson is having another great game as usual. His 2 touchdowns tonight really give the Wranglers and him something to dance about, as he always does. He's also got a couple of key blocks that he's made tonight to keep that Rampage score down. Tonight he has 7 receptions, 70 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Eli?
Jill, thanks. There are the numbers for Carlos Johnson. Remarkably, Carlos, almost as an individual, has as many yards as Grand Rapids does in the entire ball game. Grand Rapids has 8 yards this half. 8 offensive yards this half. Max Nockey, flag on the play, off the fingertips of Keith Neal, and another flag on the play. So 2 flags, separate incidents. The pass off the fingertips of Keith Neal.
And going back to what you stated before, 8 yards in the entire second half. That's got to be a record.
I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Holding on the defense, number 17. 8-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
That's another $40 into the kitty tonight.
If I can remember, I'm only $5 short of my goal.
Yeah. Now look at that.
8 yards.
And look, what is that? 83. No, 79 for the ball game. That is unbelievable. Of course, 2 weeks ago, the Wranglers held Florida at only 140 yards. There's a completion to Demo Odoms down to the 8-yard line. Yeah, they held the Bobcats to only 140 and 22 points. And tonight,
they're going to beat that number tonight easily.
Yeah.
And even with a play like that, that's the biggest play they've had in the second half. That may be the second biggest play, I believe, of the evening for quarterback Max Nockey.
Remarkable. You see the clock closing in on the 1-minute mark.
61 sales.
When you look at this situation, Eli, it may not mean anything on the scoreboard, but to build a little bit of confidence in this team, at least one inkling of a high note is to score a touchdown here for Grand Rapids.
The 1-minute warning. The referee will tell everybody the timeout situation.
Oklahoma has 3 timeouts left.
Full complement of timeouts remaining. Coming up on Sunday, well, things should be a little bit different than this one. Orlando and Albany, 2 high-powered teams. Mike Pawlowski. That's going to be something to see.
That'll be a very exciting game. Everybody out there, make sure you tune in on Sunday afternoon.
Better yet, folks, in the Albany area, buy your tickets and come by and join us at the Pepsi Arena. Everybody else, you can tune in.
There you go.
Love to see a good crowd there in Albany. Sunday at 3. Fumble on the snap. Nocky gets it back.
There has not been, in a game that I've ever played in or seen, as many devastating things happen to a quarterback in an offense as I've seen tonight for quarterback Max Nocky.
The only thing we have not had tonight is an attack of locusts. I believe we have gone through every other happening. Timeout being called by Grand Rapids. They just want to come out of here with something.
And that's just something that you can build on. And I'm not joking about this. As an offense, you have to do that. You have to come out with something positive. But the Oklahoma defense is just stoned the Grand Rapids offense. Only 10 points, total yards just over 100, 105. And this team, it's just incredible what they've done. We bragged about them coming in as the #1 defense, Eli, but this is just incredible.
Now, folks, remember this. Grand Rapids, on the average, 266 yards a game. They normally get 266 yards a game. And they have just now, with 39 seconds to go, just now have gone over 100 yards for the ball game. The fullback, Chris Ryan, fighting to the 5. And timeout is taken by Grand Rapids, their second. Why don't we take a moment here and salute that gentleman? That is Kasani Abdul Salam. He is the Tenacton Ironman of the game. 3 touchdowns, an interception. He has broken up 5 passes. The Ironman of the game brought to you by Tough Acton Tenacton for tough cases of athlete's foot. Don't forget Tough Acton Tenacton.
And that's a big night for that young man. Heck of a night, heck of a play. Came up with big plays. Not only his touchdowns, made some great plays defensively and some good runs offensively after the catch.
Can Oklahoma stuff him again? Nocky throws. Touchdown, Grand Rapids. Touchdown, Grand Rapids on the crossing pattern to Keith Neal.
Keith Neal's shaken up on the play.
A 5-yard touchdown pass. Max Nocky to Keith Neal.
This is one of the few times where Max Nocky had some time to throw the ball. He's got to drift at the end and get rid of the ball. But Keith Neal just comes across the back of the goal line and makes the reception for the touchdown. But that was one of the few times, as I said, that the quarterback, Nocky, hasn't been knocked to the turf.
This, however, will still be the lowest offensive output of the year for Grand Rapids, even if they go for 2 here, which I don't believe they will. Even if they went for 2, they'd have 18. That would be less than the 19 they scored at Iowa. This does, however, get them out of the cellar for fewest points scored by any one team this year. Houston had scored 14, as we told you, against San Jose. Carolina scored 16 against Milwaukee in a game that the Mustangs won 63-16. Goins' extra point gives them 17. So 17 points now, the total for the Grand Rapids Rampage, as Oklahoma is up large. Now let's take a look at what has been the story of this game, and it is part of the Right Guard Extreme Play of the Game. Get Extreme, get Right Guard.
It's another pummeling on quarterback Max Nocky, and it's been extreme for him. He's been getting knocked around the entire evening, drilled to the turf, and that's one of the plays that he's going to remember from this night. It's been probably the longest night of his professional career.
Those youngsters, though, they're having a great time here in Oklahoma. That scoring drive for Grand Rapids, 4 plays, 31 yards, 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and we appreciate all those folks and you folks at home watching the Arena Football League on TNN. And don't forget, Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock from Albany. Then next week, we will be with you both Thursday and Friday with playoff games. The week after again, Thursday and Friday. Got to find out if the boss is giving frequent flyer miles on those It looks like there'll be some cross-country trips for us if things don't change.
Geez, I hope so. It's our world tour.
Next Thursday and next Friday, if nothing changes, if San Jose wins the West, Thursday we'll be in Phoenix, and Friday we will be in Hartford.